Well, Fortino, Vichoide, Gidi, coming there, breeding so, Guide Tuma, Gunther, Ross, come on, you're all very welcome to St. Bridget's, Kiltoom, County Roscommon this afternoon for the TG4 All Ireland Intermediate football semi-final. It's roasting here as it is over most of the country this afternoon. We just finished up the junior semi-final for Mana coming out victorious against Limerick in a goal fest. Looking for a closer match this afternoon and keeping a closer eye beside me today is my co-commentator Anne-Marie Callanan. How are you keeping, Anne-Marie?
I'm good, how are you?
Very good. Biased Clare woman. She said she'd try not to be so biased this afternoon, but I don't think that'll last long. Laois face Clare this afternoon. I'll try to be on the Laois side as much as I can, and we go through the teams now in 2 seconds, starting with the Clare lineup. And I suppose no better person to introduce the Clare team this afternoon than yourself, Anne-Marie.
So in goals we have Amy Linehan from Dura Bearfield, number 2 Ellie O'Gorman from Kilmahel, 3 Tara Kelly Cool Gales, 4 Grania Harvey from West Clare Gales, 5 Shifra Niconnell from Dura Bearfield, centre back number 6 Laurie Ryan from the Banner, 7 Orla David from Aerogue. The middle of the field pairing is Aishin Reedy from Dura Bearfield, number 9 Chloe Maloney from Kilmaria Bricken. At wing forward position, number 10 Amy Sexton from Kilmaria Bricken, number 11 Grania Nolan from the Banner, and at right half forward is Roisin Constantine from Liscanner. The full forward line comprises of Fidelma Marnan, number 13 from West Clare Gales, full forward Niamh O'Dea from the Banner, and 15 Katrina Callanan from Kilmahel.
Who's the danger woman now, or danger women out there this afternoon?
Well, just having a look at the 6 forwards there, Amy Sexton, Grania Nolan, Roisin Constantine, Fidelma, Niamh and Katrina, they've been going really well all year. Any of those that make any team in the country, so they work really well as a unit together. I know Roisin Constantine filters back a little bit to the half back line and carries a lot of ball, but the 5 forwards are very dangerous inside, so Laois will have to watch that.
Very good. A very solid back line. Not much weak links on that Clare team this afternoon, that's for sure. My own job now, I'll go through the Laois team this afternoon. Laois with some great wins in the championship so far this year. A quarter-final victory over Wicklow, scoring 6-16. And very comfortable in their 2 games before this as well, beating Tyrone and Sligo, putting up big scores, 12 goals in 3 games, so maybe another goal fest ahead of us this afternoon. But we'd start with the back line, very strong back line today for Laois too. Maybe not as good as the forwards, some would reckon, but a fine full back line too. And the goalkeeper Emer Barry there as well, Amy Potts and Aisling Donaher in front of her, and the captain Amy Kelly in at number 4. Number 5 this afternoon at wing back Rachel Williams, in the middle Ellen Healy and Clodagh Dunn finishing off the full back line this afternoon. They start as is, no changes for either team this afternoon, and Anna Healy and Jane Moore lining out there in midfield waiting for the throw in from the Mayo referee Kevin Corcoran in a few minutes time. And then that strong forward line this afternoon, Eva Galvin at number 10 and number 11 Laura Marie Maher, and I suppose a name we'll be talking about plenty this afternoon, Croke Park LGFA Player of the Month for June, Aaron Fitzpatrick, scoring 1-3 last week at number 12. Inside in the forward line, no joke either, Mo Nerney there at number 13, an excellent forward, scored 2-3 last week herself. Emma Lawler as well, scoring 1-3 in that victory over Wicklow. So very strong forward line there. And Sarah Ann Fitzgerald finishing off Donny Brennan's charges this afternoon. So might be a tactical battle as well. We're predicting a very close game. There was a Clare man telling me earlier they might win by 3 if they're lucky this afternoon, but we're all expecting a very close game this afternoon, Anne-Marie.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned about goals there, and I just did a little bit of research, and I think Laois have scored 31 goals between championship and league this year so far. So that's quite, I know in terms of 6 or 7 matches, that's quite a large amount of goals. And you mentioned Aaron Fitzpatrick, Mo Nerney and Emma Lawler. They are actually in the top 10 for the Golden Boot Award this year because of the amount they've scored. So Clare are really going to have to, I know the last time against Longford, Clare did use the running game and they had near hand tackles. They were excellent in defence, so they're going to have to work really hard again today to try and stop that Laois forward line.
Very experienced full back line for Clare. I don't see goals coming very easy for them this afternoon, but it's early yet.
Yeah, you have Ellie O'Gorman there in the full back line, very experienced, excellent at the near hand tackles. Again, Tara Kelly, a new position for her this year in full back. She played kind of centre back last year, but very, very tough and really will try really hard. And Grania Harvey, who's an established player with the county as well, will be really tough. And I imagine that Roisin Constantine will filter back and front of that full back line just to help them out as well.
Okay, so they'll be watching those Danger Girls today. We'll see out of Evan Talty and Donny Brennan who's done their homework well this afternoon. Should be a very close encounter. This heat as well is going to be a massive factor for both teams this afternoon. They're both very fit teams, but even the fittest will struggle out there this afternoon. I reckon 24, maybe 25 degrees now, and it's dead heat as well. Not a puff of wind blowing from either side. If the sun is going to put in on anyone, it is the goalkeeper on our left-hand side. That goalkeeper is the Laois goalkeeper, Emer Barry. She's wearing the copy and keeping the sun out of her eyes as best as she can. As we get ready to throw in here, Mayo referee Kevin Corcoran now just waiting to make sure the lines are cleared and the few people throwing off the gloves. The gloves maybe not needed this afternoon. And a bit of movement still here, I think, around the edges. As we wait, I think there'll be a change as well. I think the Clare goalkeeper, Amy Lenihan, will throw on a pink bib. The blue of the goalkeeper there for Clare might be mistaken for a Laois woman, and it's a Laois woman indeed who gets the ball here first in the middle of the field, and that's Jane Moore. It's Laois coming now on the attack. Eva Galvin with the ball. She sends it back. A beautiful 1-2 to Jane Moore. Laois now on the attack, but as we said, that Clare defence is sticking tight, but not tight enough. First effort coming from Laois this afternoon. Not sure who got that now, but a great score coming. He sends it back from Laois. 1-2 Mo Nerdy. Laois now first of probably many this afternoon. As we said, that Clare defence is sticking tight, but not tight enough. She gets Laois off to Clare coming now. Beautiful quick ball. They're looking to move as well. Collected here by Marinan. Very dangerous footballer herself, and a wonderful score there from Fidelma Marinan right over the black spot. And Clare, I suppose, answering very quickly there, Marie.
Yeah, that was a really good response to Emma Lawler's, to Mo Nairn's first score. A long puck out from Amy Linehan, and she found Roisin Constantine. Roisin found Fidelma, so excellent score for Clare. That will settle both teams earlier on this game.
Certainly will. Very fast pace in comparison to the junior final before this. From the off, I'm not sure how much they can keep up this pace, but a brilliant start from both sides. Very clinical in the forwards. As we spoke about, the forward lines be very, very strong for both teams this afternoon. And the dangerous Emma Lawler now making her way in. She's forced out the corner, will try to turn, bring it onto the left if she can. She might look for another option. That other option is Mo Nerdy once again. And another beautiful point coming from Mo. Her second point now in the space of only a few minutes, coming very quick. I suppose we were talking there about the back lines maybe having their hands full, and it certainly seems so in the first few minutes.
Yeah, there was a lovely 1-2 there between Emma Lawler and Mo Nerdy. We've seen them do it time and time again. Emma found herself out in the corner. She worked it again. She knew she wasn't going to score from that corner, worked it into a really scoreable position to Mo and popped it over the bar. And Amy Lynn has opted to go long again. It's after breaking, and it looks like Laurie Ryan has picked it up.
Certainly is Laurie Ryan, a soccer player in her own time, very fit. Collects the ball. A nice ball sent in here now to the dangerous Fidelma Marion. Has one already, scored 3 2 weeks ago in Burr. Against Longford, she's put under serious pressure there from Amy Potts, who does well, eventually turns her, brings it on to her preferred, sends it across instead on the D now. Clare might have a chance here, they'll slow it down. A hand pass comes from Katrina Cownan, back to her full forward Niamh O'D, who sometimes drops deep, this time isn't, and lovely ball sent in here, open goal in front of Roisin Constantine, who finishes beautifully, rounds the keeper with the right boot then into the back of the net. Niamh O'D doing brilliantly to set that one up. Roisin Constantine in a one-on-one. What about that for a finish?
Excellent finish, a really good teamwork from Clare. Fidelma Marina was out in the corner, she was being marked really tight, and she found Niamh O'D, who found Roisin Constantine. Clare in the attack.
They come again, Nolan inside, a hand pass coming just over the head of Nolan there, could have been very dangerous. Emer Barry was coming out, she doesn't want to concede a second one, that's for sure, in such a short time. Grania Nolan left free, maybe the right option, but just not clinically executed as you would expect. Laois now with the kick out, a nice kick out too, connected here by Rachel Williams. She does well, a bit of space here for Laois in the centre of the pitch, and Sarah Ann Fitzgerald does well there. She brings it up to her corner forward partner Mo Nerdy, the dangerous Mo with the left boot, sends in a nice low ball onto the 45, and Laois collect. They come in a wave. Number 9 there, Jane Moore, could collect. She finally does collect. She might give back, she doesn't. She gives to a very dangerous Laois girl who's inside. That Laois girl is the number 10 who does send it back to number 13. That number 13 is Mo Nerdy, the dangerous Mo Nerdy, but this time putting it to the right and wide, but it was blocked down, so we will come back for a 45 there.
Yeah, there was good pressure there from the Clare defence. They're hackling and tackling really hard to put pressure on Mo, and it was deflected, so Clare will have to watch this again now from the 45.
Better pressure there on Mo, forced out, could have been very dangerous at that time, but she'd have another chance now. She looked to go a bit short, there's some movement inside, it gets past the sweeper, but Doesn't get past the Clare defender there. That Clare defender, Shifrani Hunnell, who played a brilliant game 2 weeks ago. She's doing well again there in the centre back line. A very safe pair of hands. Grania Harvey now on the ball. She brings it up the centre as they boot up through Laurie Ryan here, soccer player extraordinaire, brings it up to Niamh O'D, who collects beautifully, but the execution not so good that time on the left boot. She was under huge pressure, and the first wide of the game coming from the boot of Niamh O'D.
I think she was just caught there for overcarrying, so it's going to be a free out when Niamh was unlucky there. I know there was two kind of around her, but I think she just took maybe a few extra steps. Clare going to have to put pressure now on the free kick, and Laois are looking for a free player. She's after being forced along, and it's after being collected by Shifrani O'Connell. Oh, no, Aisling Reedy, apologies, Aisling Reedy.
Aisling Reedy does well and collects the ball again. She has a bit of space to her right if she wants to go for it. She certainly does. She's showing her pace there and rounds Anne Healy. Anne Healy making her way back though, not giving up, puts pressure on her. Ball will fall short there from that pressure. Great pressure there coming from the Laois number 8 and collected by Emer Barry. Massive pressure coming from Clare as well. Both very well organised teams, both out the traps and putting huge pressure on each side. And the forwards very dominant, but it's the Clare forwards dominant this time as Callanan has it. She sends it across, I think, to Amy Sexton, who sends it back to Nolan. Nolan now with an opportunity with the right boot. This time it will go out to the right and wide, and the first wide of the match actually coming this time from Grania Nolan.
Yeah, I think Ronnie was just a little bit off balance there when she kicked, but again, good work here from Clare, and Laois are still putting pressure on them also.
Certainly is, and that pressure coming, it falls through the hands of Amy Potts and into the hands of a Clare woman. I think it's Marion again, is it, out in the wing?
Yep.
Oh no, that's a beautiful score if she can get that. It's not, it's just drifting to the left and wide. The accuracy was good from Clare in the first few minutes. Two wides now coming in quick succession. This one from Fidelma Marion, and the quick I say puck outs nearly like yourself, coming from a hurling background. The kick outs coming from Emer Barry here, but she doesn't get the opportunity to do a quick one this time. She's forced to go long, and again it's collected by the tall Chloe Maloney in the centre of the pitch. She does well. She does brilliantly well. Collects it here, is looking for movement inside, a bit of movement coming, beautiful movement as well, and collected finally by Katrina Callanan. Callanan turns and twists and finds a bit of space on the 21 now. Here is Grania Nolan. She's missed one already, she'll be looking to make amends, but she can't get a chance this time. She'll have to send it back to Harvey. Harvey's on the 30, she sends it to her number 10 Sexton, who sends it and collects again, and it finally falls to Harvey. The cornerback not fancying a chance, might want to go again, get in a bit closer. Comes now to Sexton, brings it as far as Considine. Considine a goal already. Well, beautiful hands from the Clare team in and around the D. They're not happy to go. One person's happy to go is Marion, and she's well able, and this time that's slotted beautifully within the right hand post and over the bar. Gorgeous score from Fidelma Marion, and the back's not happy to take their chance. They leave it to the Shart Trooper, and she shows her class.
Yeah, there was an inspirational score there for Fidelma Marion. We've seen her do it time and time again through the championship. Excellent score, really well worked. If you look, Clare pressing up on the kick out, they're forcing, the turnovers. There's a push in the back there from Grania Harvey, so it's going to be a Laois free kick. Look, like there's a push there in Jane Moore.
Yes, Anne-Marie, massive pressure coming from the Clare forwards. They're probably like the Laois team, maybe their strongest line, and they're showing they can defend as well. They do good work there. Laois now forced to go back a few yards, but it finally finds the hands of Jane Moore. She sends it back to the free taker Williams, and collects again. Now it's in the hands of the captain Amy Kelly, who'll slow the ball down. She's very comfortable on the ball. She looked for the safe option. The safe option again was Jane Moore, who boots up to the centre. Clare putting massive pressure on all these Laois attackers, including Eva Galvin, who does well and sends a nice ball back to Lawler. Lawler looking for a bit of space, doesn't get it. Massive pressure this time coming from Harvey, and falls out finally magically to a Laois hand, and one of those hands is Mo Nerney. You'd fancy her from here, and sure, who else to put it over the bar? 3 points now from Mo Nerney, who's left unmarked.
And that's from the opposite side of the field, so she's got 2 from the left hand side and 1 from the right hand side. So excellent score there from Mo. And if you look again, Laois are doing the same as Clare. They're putting the pressure on the kick out, and they're forcing Amy Lenihan to go along.
Amy Lenihan does well though, and it is collected by Sexton. She does beautifully, and there's plenty of space here in the middle of the pitch for Clare and for Aisling Reedy now to work her way up to the 21 into a scoring position. There's movement inside, but she might want to go herself. There's an option here as well, and they go for this. Marion, and a beautiful save from the hands of Emer Barry there, who did brilliantly to get out, made herself big, stuck out the paw and boots that out to the right hand side of the goal to safety and to a Laois hand eventually, and they'll break. Well, I don't know, maybe really could have brought that in a bit further, but you're happy to give it to Marion, who maybe you'd expect to finish any other day of the week, but beautiful save there from Emer Barry, who does very well. And it's Laois now on the up, and they come through again, the dangerous Mo Nerney. She has no option, so she's forced to go back to Emma Lawler. Emma Lawler does well and brings it to another Laois hand. Laois doing what Clare are doing and keeping the opposite team out of the D as much as they can, but there's some nice running coming there from Laois, and a beautiful score, I think, from a Laois midfielder there. A wonderful score. She saw space, she dodged around, went through that defensive blanket that Clare put up just outside the D and slots it over the bar, and a score that Laois really need at this stage, coming from the boots of Jane Moore.
Yeah, it was an excellent score. Again, very athletic. She run all day, Jane, but equally she's been able to score as well. And Laois have won the kick out there again, and they're pressing up with Ellen Healy in possession.
She sends in a bit of a hospital pass, but she knew what she was doing. Collected in the end by Laura Marie Maher, who does very well and very brave there to collect that ball, with 3 Clare women bearing down on top of her, showing intent, showing that Laois are up for this match.
I think she was just caught a little bit high there in the tackle, so I think rightly so the referee called that. Yes. The free kick is taken quick to Eva Galvin.
Lawler now with the opportunity. She's inside the D. Another beautiful score coming from Lawler. 5 points now for Laois. Would you believe? No wide coming from them so far this afternoon. 2 wides coming from Clare, which they will rue, because this match will be a close one, mark my words. Another close competition is the kickouts today. They're heavily marked. There's going to be no easy kickout for either side this afternoon, that's for sure. A Clare woman pushed in the back that time. That Clare woman is Chloe Maloney. Chloe, who can win kickouts, but she can score again. She scored 1-1 against Wicklow 2 weeks ago in Kinnegad. She does well. She's pushed in the back. Plenty of height. A good physically strong team, this Clare team, especially on the middle of the pitch. Laois also. She's looking for movement inside. There's not much coming. She's forced to go back. The Mayo referee, Kevin Corcoran, tells her to take a few steps back. We come back to the sideline. There's no movement coming for her yet.
If she can see Amy Sexton the opposite end of the field, she'll have to find an Evo D or Katrina Callan this time.
And she does well. The Laois defender, I think it was Clodagh Dunn, tripped up and leaves the chance here now for Roisin Considine, who could have gone, but happy to go to the wing, and she'll go to Nevo D, and she'll go back to Grania Nolan. And beautiful hands, and eventually it does find Roisin Considine. But another wonderful save there from Emer Barry, who's just been brilliant in the last few minutes. She made herself big again and blocks off the effort of Considine. She had 2 chances there. Eventually the wing forward taking her chance one-on-one on goal, which will be dangerous for Laois, and I think a warning sign there for the Laois management. It's happened a few times now, but the goalie, Emer Barry, doing excellently well there and standing up strong.
Yeah, there was a point-blank save from Emer Barry, so that's 2 really good saves she's made, and that will do her confidence the world of good and settle. Laois will have to tighten up, or tighten up a little bit at the back, because it's too easy for Clare to go through. Everyone Fitzpatrick's in possession now. She's looking for help, and she's found Jane Moore.
Beautiful hand pass coming from last month's player of the month. She does well. Finally it's Galvin who has the ball, and Laois coming now in a dangerous position with Mo Nerney again, who hasn't missed so far this afternoon. 3 from 3, now making it 4 from 4. Obviously her own, dropping a bit deeper. Happy to win ball around the centre and set up Mo, who certainly is doing all their scoring today.
Yeah, and I know Ellie O'Gorman is an excellent back, but there's nothing she can do about that. She was touched right there, but just how quick that Mo Nerney is able to turn and get those scores. Again, Clare are forced down the middle there with a 1 possession in Grania Nolan. She's looking for help off the shoulder.
Shifrey Hunnell, it goes through her hands, but a beautiful kick out from Amy Lenihan, very accurate, and finds a Clare woman behind her, and they'll work their way up into the hands now of Amy Sexton. She's looking for a runner if she can get it. She can't. Beautiful defending there, coming on her kick solo from Ellen Healy, who does brilliantly well, and she sticks to her like glue and forces the free. She does brilliantly well. First the block down, but a bad kick then coming in the end, so Clare will come again. They'll be happy with that. A few mistakes now coming from Laois defence, but mistakes coming from Clare as well. A very tight match, some brilliant woman marking coming on both sides this afternoon, as the defenders finally step up and play the role they're supposed to play this afternoon, putting the pressure on both sides, but not enough pressure coming there for Clare, with a great score coming from, I think, the boot of Grania Nolan, who missed her first chance but slots this one beautifully from quite a difficult angle.
Yeah, just before that there was a dispossession. That's like a score to some teams, but unfortunately the kick went astray, and Clare capitalised and got the score. But Laois with a quick kick out again, and they're going forward in numbers here. They have an extra person out the side here if they spot her. Yeah, they're after spotting Rachel Williams.
Rachel Williams with an acre of space in front of her. She'll be happy to keep going if she wants. Finally some defenders coming across and putting pressure, doing well and intercepting the ball there. Are Clare, they sucked her in and then got the ball and did very well there. I'm not sure who it was, but it is Orla Devitt now, the Clare captain, who has possession. She brings it on to her bibbed up goalkeeper Amy Lenihan in the blue underneath that, so she's hiding the blue so there's no confusion on who's a keeper and who's a forward. She comes out, she connects again. She might be mistaken for a midfielder if she keeps going up the pitch, but she's happy to hold ball here on her own 21 and finally bring it back to a Clare hand. They're playing it safe, but Laois are putting huge pressure here on the Clare back line, but it's finally Grania Harvey who makes her way out if she can. But again, yeah, that pressure coming from Laois in all lines of the pitch today. She forced to do a nice kick ball up, but Clare do well, nearly collected there, but again that massive pressure coming on each line this afternoon, and really making things very difficult for anybody to win easy ball.
Yeah, both fairly evenly matched teams so far, really high pace as we would anticipate. More Niners on the ball again. Even Madridge is going to score. Yeah, it's straight between the posts. They can score again from there.
Mo doing well, but it's the Laois forwards who are putting pressure on that Clare defence who really made that as well, not giving many options. Even the goalkeeper, you think the extra person would make a difference. It certainly did that. Laois putting a big high press. They've been lucky so far with the kickouts, although the accuracy from Amy Lennon has been good. But the Laois looking to break down some of these kickouts. It's not going to work this time, that's for sure, because Clare get in behind quite easy. Roisin Considine, who scored one goal, nearly scored another, doing well there. Finding space, being unmarked, leaving the ball up, and now they're looking dangerous through Marion, and again she'll have this effort with her right boot go straight over the bar again. 3 points now for Fidelma Marion, the sharpshooter. 1 missed and 3 points, equaling her score, believe it or not, already from the Longford game 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, Roisin Constantine came deep there to win that kick out, you know, and she came down along the sideline there, and she found Fidelma excellent score again. Laois have kicked the ball out over the sideline there, so it's going to be a clear ball again.
They certainly have. Not doing any favours for herself, Emer Barry, but Emer has been excellent in front of goal this afternoon. 2 point-blank saves so far. This one running out over the sideline will give Clare an opportunity to attack. A nice low ball sent in here for Katrina Calnan, but it's sent back to the midfielder Chloe Maloney, who can score when she wants to. She scored 1-1 last week. I think if we had Hawkeye, we probably wouldn't use it because of the issues with Hawkeye, but we need something. I think the umpire will have to give a score. I think the umpires weren't sure of that, but I think the referee, Kevin Corcoran, had a word there and said he thought it was a point himself. So Chloe Maloney off the mark.
I think he was in a better position, the referee there, to see that sail over. It was just inside the post, so great score there from Chloe. Laois and the attack with Anna Healy, she's after finding Jane Moore.
Jane Moore with the ball again. Clare putting massive pressure just outside their own 45, but no good as Laois find a way through. Rachel Williams doing well again. She's been central to a lot of these attacks this afternoon. A beautiful pass there into the hands of Galvin. Now they're coming dangerously again. This one might be scuffed to the right. It's not. A score coming off the laces there. Was that Mo Early again?
I think it was Sarah Ann Fitzgerald.
Sarah Ann Fitzgerald with her first score of the day. The Laois number 15 doing very well there, booting that one over the bar, and we're back to a level game again with Laura Marie Maher, apologies, number 11 for Laois. Laura Marie getting her first score of the day. Not one wide yet for Laois, but it's Clare on the attack again. Chloe Maloney has a point. Left inside free now is Calnan. Calnan is blocked down legally so great defending there from Laois. And Katrina Calnan looking very dangerous. They're not out of the woods quite yet, but they seem happy enough to go through the hands in the back line, and the safe hands of Ellie O'Gorman now have it. She sends it out to Laurie Ryan, but what about that for a chance?
Yeah, I think the Clare management seem to be saying it should have been a penalty there, but obviously we have to go with what the ref says. Again, Ferocious in the tackle, working really hard. Laois in the attack here now with more Nearney again. There's 3 around her.
Well, the defenders certainly putting up a match of their lives this afternoon, putting massive pressure on the attacks, both teams. That's, would you believe it or not, the first wide of the day for Laois this afternoon, coming from the boot of Emma Lawler. She has one already, so 8 from 9 for Laois. Very accurate in that forward line today, but that pressure from Clare is massive, as well as the pressure from Laois. And Laois doing well to stop a goal there. And unfortunately, we can't get a look back at it and see if that was. I'm sure you'll make up your own minds. There's a lot of Clare people inside here who probably aren't happy about that decision.
Yeah, no, I think the both girls were on the ground at the time, so the ref has opted to throw it in. Neva D is going to go up here with Sarah Ann Fitzgerald. Both girls excellent in the air.
Eve often coming out for the midfield, the throw in at half time as well. She does well, showing her class there, collects the ball brilliantly, sends the ball across, could have played advantage, but I think a name will be taken, and I think that name is the Laois number 8, Anna Healy. And gave a fairly
nudge to me, yeah, she was
fairly hefty nudge.
Yeah, so, yeah, rightly so. And Eve's going to find someone now. I'd say she's going to maybe go wide to Gráinne Noel, and Gráinne's free in this wing here. Or up, she might go up to go long. Or she's going back to Sheaffer Niconnell.
Playing it safe. Slowing down the match with maybe the heat affecting one or two players this afternoon. It's certainly not affecting Sheaffer Niconnell. A blast of space opens up in front of her. A beautiful hand pass just runs a bit too far from the hands of Amy Sexton. That could have been very dangerous. And Laois will break again, and it's the number 10, Eva Galvin, who's played a very central role this afternoon in the counter-attacks for Laois. With a ball in, it wasn't a great ball, but it doesn't matter because Emma Lawler scrapped on the ground for that one. She wins, she gives another bad ball in, but never say die attitude from Laois. But easy enough pushing the back there, and obvious enough coming from Laura Marie Maher and a Clare back there. So it's Clare who have possession. They're happy to go back through Amy Lenihan, who maybe bring the ball up herself. She won't. She sees the space outside here, and she sees the dangerous Roisin Considine, who keep running all afternoon no matter the heat. She's collected. She's bringing up this near side wing. There's a bit of movement for her if she wants it. She finally gives a beautiful pass there to Niamh O'Dea, who seems fine after her check earlier. She comes through, but plenty of Laois defenders in front of her will make it difficult. A beautiful dummy, a chance on the right, but 3 Laois women around her forced the error. She overran the ball, and Laois should come. That Laois defence is certainly improving over the last few minutes, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'd say the ref didn't see the hand, her hand being caught there though, so it could have been a free in, but no, he maintains she overcarried. Good work again from both sides. We spoke here at the start about Laois trying to getting goals. They haven't had the opportunity to get goals. The Clare backs are working extremely hard. I know Clare have had a few opportunities up front. They'll be disappointed they didn't take them, but very evenly matched so far. Great game.
It certainly is. Amy Kelly now, the Laois captain, looking to create something. Maybe a goal is what they want. They certainly can score goals. They're not coming, and they're not going to come now because there's huge pressure coming from Clare, not just from their backs, their midfielders, and this time their wing forward, Roisin Considine, putting massive pressure. A beautiful high ball in, not dealt with it the first time by Calnan, not dealt with the second time either. And again, that Laois defence showing their class. They've put in a good game so far against a very good Clare forward line. It's Jane Moore now who breaks. She sends it to her centre back, Ellen Healy. Ellen has a mountain of space in front of her, but behind her there's a woman bearing down. She does well to shift the blow and continues herself. There's not much movement coming inside, but does excellently well to hold the ball and finally lay it off safely to the dangerous Mo Nerney. Mo with 5 so far, puts in a beautiful ball with her left leg into a very athletic Laura Marie Maher, who turns on a dime there, and a beautiful hand pass in to Galvin. Galvin now with the chance, and Galvin shifts it into the top right corner. Beautiful work there, really created by the Laois midfielders, who brought it as far as the dangerous Mo Nerney. A stunning left leg pass in, and finally finished by Eva Galvin, who'd worked her way up the pitch and scores a stunning goal into the top right corner. No chance there really for Amy Lenihan.
Yeah, that's as good as you'll see a team score. Excellent, really worked well. I just said about Laois not creating any goal scoring opportunities, but the
commentators, of course, it always works with us, that's for sure.
Yeah, Clare, it'll be interesting how Clare will respond. They're in the ball here with Gráinne Noel, and she's found her teammate Niamh O'Dea.
She keeps going, Gráinne Noel, and now a dangerous ball across, and this could scramble into the goal. No, I think it's lifted off the ground. There was a scramble on the ground, touched and pulled across the ground by a Laois defender who was on the ground herself. Illegal. And a penalty, I think. I think Kevin Corcoran doing the right thing here. He's going to have a word with the umpires. The umpires say he was right the first time round. It certainly was. A bit of a tennis game going on here at the moment, and a bit like the junior just before this. The goals are coming fast now.
Yeah, so it looked like she was on her knees when she went to collect that. So penalty for Clare. You'd imagine Chloe Maloney's going to step up from her Peamount United days. You'd imagine she'll slot this home. She scored one in the last game as well. Great opportunity for Clare to get back into contention and level up the game. Certainly. I think it's so hot out there. The girls are getting a well-deserved water break there while Chloe's lining up to take on Emer Barry.
It's certainly needed. There's some tired bodies already. I make it about 25 minutes on my own clock here, but up to the fourth official, how much we play this afternoon. Chloe Maloney steps up and needs a goal really here for Clare. Laois are a goal ahead, this to put them back level again. She steps up. And off the bar, she goes just to the right, comes off the post, and Laois will clear their lines. Well, she'd be very disappointed with that. You'd imagine the soccer player would have slotted away, but this one just to the right-hand side of the right-hand post comes away, and Laois will look to break again. And Clare will be bitterly disappointed with that, but they will come again, and I'm sure Aisling Reedy will look to make amends here now for her midfield partner who missed that, and they'll come, and she does brilliantly. She comes out the wing, she cuts inside, she's looking for runners. There's not many. There's a number 15 inside. That number 15, of course, is Katrina Callanan. There was a foul there before that, though, a push, I think, coming from her. Could have been very dangerous there. Maybe could have slotted away with the fist if she wanted, but deemed to have fouled on her way in there.
Yeah, I think there was just a little tug on the jersey and the referee spotted it there, so he was like Hawkeye. Cleared after interception here to Amy Sexton.
They want their goal, that's for sure, and it's Sexton coming in, and another one off the post, but this time it falls into the goal. Well, Clare were looking for goal, they've hit the post, they came in, an unlucky chance there, nearly a goal 2 seconds before that, and now the third chance in a row. They wanted the goal, and third time lucky, Amy Sexton plants this one in, comes off the hand of Emer Barry, who nearly did another miraculous save off the post into the bottom left corner, and a tied game again.
Yeah, excellent goal, Amy Sexton there. She dispossessed the Laois player coming out, and she worked it all the way in herself, left leg back in the net. Excellent score from Amy there.
Well, she's been brilliant so far, and as we said, the heat probably affecting some of the players. There's a Laois woman down, I'm not sure quite who it is. She's getting a bit of attention. Again, the water's coming on. It's a very, very warm day out there. There will be another few minutes in this first half. I'm sure the subs bench will play a key part as well in this second half.
Definitely, we expected a tight competitive game. That's what we're getting. I think that the both panels will be emptying the bench. I think there's a few players even warming up already, because they're going to need 17, 18 players to get over the line today. So Emer Barry's after taking the kick out there, and she's after finding Jane Moore in the air.
Moore doing brilliantly, very athletic, high up in the air, catches at an angle, does well. It's Healy now with the ball. She's a very safe pair of hands for sure. She's coming under massive pressure, deals with it well, and finally a bit of space out the far wing now for Laois, and it's in the hands of Rachel Williams. She sends a nice high pass into Amy Potts, who deals with that well. There's not much room in front of her. She's put under pressure, but finally finds its way as far as Emma Lawler. She sends it back to Arone Fitzpatrick. No score yet for Arone this afternoon. She's happy to leave it back to Lawler. She makes her way out to Galvin. Galvin with the goal already, sends it to Lawler. She sends this one low, but into the safe hands of Amy Lenihan. She sends this one out the wing, and Clare women have a few numbers out this wing. Will look to build and bring it right back up the field again. We're back to a co-score draw here. I don't know how many draws we've had. There's been swings and roundabouts all afternoon, but we are drawing again, and Clare will look maybe to get another score or two before this half-time whistle. And it comes to number 9 finally, Maloney. Maloney with a nice ball in, falls into Niamh O'D, who could be very dangerous here. There's one or two Clare women waiting around the box as well if she can find them, but she'll have to work a bit hard first. She sends this one in just to the right and wide. She was slipping when she took that one, and the first wide of the day from Niamh O'D.
Yeah, I think that when Clare get to the 45, they're hitting the ball in long to that dangerous full forward line of Niamh O'D, Fidelma Martin and Katrina Callanan. Niamh will be disappointed with that effort, but I've no doubt she'll get on the score sheet before the end of the day. She's a really hard worker.
Emer Barry opts to go short this time. Clare leaving Rachel Williams free, but eventually finding pressure on her. But it comes to Amy Kelly now. She wants to work it up the field. She wants to work a score for Laois. They want to go in a point or two up, that's for sure. It'll be a very, very tight match this afternoon, and all these scores will count. Laois have been clinical in front of goal this afternoon, and more clinical than anyone was Mo Nerney. Arone Fitzpatrick well able to score herself. This one will slot, I think. No, just to the left and wide, I think. Coming from, I think, Arone Fitzpatrick at the end of the day. So she'd be disappointed with that. I thought it was over myself.
She's kind of tailed, I think, at the very end there.
A very close decision, yeah.
Amy's after finding going in, rolling for the kick out. Excellent kick out again from Amy Lenihan. Chloe Maloney's in the middle of the field now. She'll be looking for help.
Maloney, nice high ball in here, and an unmarked Clare woman inside. Doesn't deal with it the first time. Katrina Callanan, she sends it now to Sexton, who has one already. This one off the post again, would you believe? This time not in. The first one hit off the post and went in. This one off the post, but not so much. She'd be bitterly disappointed with that. The post is it's saving Laois so far this afternoon. 3 now off the post, only one of them off the post and in. And Laois come away with the ball. A Clare woman is down injured. Looks like a hand injury. Looks like quite a bad one as well. We'll keep an eye on that. She's definitely not happy. But Clare That crossbar, would you believe the crossbar saved Fermanagh 4 times in the first match of this afternoon in the junior All-Ireland semi-final, and now in the intermediate All-Ireland semi-final, the post 3 times, twice saving Laois so far this afternoon.
Yeah, in a normal day, they'd go in, so it's just pure hard luck there. But at least Clare are creating the opportunities. They know these scores could come as the game goes on. Laois will definitely be looking at that at half time and how they can stop that long ball going in. Maybe they might have to bring back someone in front of that full forward line, because Clare are winning possession in there and they're turning and they're getting the shots away.
A beautiful ball from Maloney as well into Callanan.
Excellent ball, yeah. Lovely balanced player, Chloe Maloney. She's excellent kicker of the ball. I think both sides would be happy enough with how they're played so far. Laois would like to get a few more goal scoring opportunities, but it's very hard in that defensive wall that Clare are creating, and they did the last day against Longford. So I think Amy Sexton seems to be up onto her feet. I think she just got winded there, but she seems to be okay, so that's good news for Clare.
Certainly is. Laois have possession outside the 45 as well. The ball being left here now to Anna Healy. She's looking for movement. She gets a bit of movement from Clodagh. Clodagh does well. She sends it back. And Laois happy to go through the hands originally, but a nice kick pass here into space to Rachel Williams, who has an acre in front of her, and she'll gobble up that space as quick as she can. Looking for movement inside. It's not coming. There's a clear wall coming across the defender, but a nice soft ball and easy enough marking there on Eva Galvin. She collects well, but the free comes eventually to Clare. Great work there from Grania Harvey, who made her way back. Does well.
Yeah, excellent work from Grania there. That near hand tackle just got the ball away and was pushed as she did so. So Ellie O'Gorman will be taking this free. If she can see Grania rolling in front, yeah, she spotted Grania.
She takes it on the ground. Clare showing their soccer skills this afternoon. Nearly loses it in the air though, but finally wins it back, and Grania Nolan now has a chance to build an attack. A nice ball out the wing here, not quite dealt with by Shiafrani Hunnell, but a difficult one to keep in line. Clare won't be happy with that. The management on the sideline won't be happy with that, and Laois might have a chance here to get one score before half time comes. No sign of how many minutes of extra time quite yet, but that board should be up in the next minute or two. But Clare have won in this game of tennis so far in the last 5 minutes, and Tara Kelly spreads it out. But again, huge pressure coming from Laois. 4 Laois women bearing down on the Clare defender, but they do very cleverly and they do very well to win it out. The Clare captain now, Orla Devitt, on a rampage. She's worked her way up to the D, sends it back to Marion, and she hasn't scored in a while. She'll be wanting one. This one certainly goes high. It has the distance. Does it have the accuracy? I don't think so. Goes to the right and wide. 2 wides now for Fidelma. 3 points coming from her. What a boot from her, but this time just not accurate enough.
Yeah, excellent work there from Orla Devitt. She carried the ball from the half back line, and we've seen her do it time and time again. Fidelma will be disappointed with that effort. At least after, they won their kick out there through Amy Kelly's team captain. She's after finding her own Fitzpatrick.
She certainly does. A roll now with an acre of space. She might fancy a chance herself. Not on the scoreboard yet, but she unselfishly sends it across, but the wrong decision this time. Clare getting the way. A roll not quite at the races yet this afternoon, but she's very dangerous and she'll be looking to make amends, that's for sure. Mo Nerney now, who has played very well in this first half, with a beautiful ball into the number 11, Laura Marie Maher. She sends this one to the left and wide. Bad chance there from Laura Marie. She has a point already. This one going to the left.
Yeah, unlucky there. But again, really good pressure from the Clare defence. A few little handling mistakes on both sides, which both sides would hope to tidy up at half time. Lots to chat about, but great games. I think the ref has just blown the half time whistle there. Very entertaining game so far and very even.
There certainly is a lot to chat about, and there's a lot to think about on the sideline here. Evan Talty coming out, maybe having a word with a few of his players, and I'm sure Donny Brennan will do the same. I'm not sure what can be done tactically wise on either team. I think both teams are playing to their best. The defenders are playing just as well as the attackers, and there's some great matches going on up there.
Yeah, and I think both sets of management are having a quick word with the ref just to clarify a few things. Both managers seem to be in there, but highly entertaining. 2 excellent teams. It's going to come down to the wire for sure.
It certainly is. So the subs, I'm sure, account for that. Even the referees taking the liquids on board now. Very warm day. We leave you. Go get a drink and drink a nice ice water or a pint. We'll be back for you in 10 minutes time as we leave you here. And the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate Football Semi-Final. Clare now 2-5, Laois 1-8. Well, Falter and Asha Hoide, good day, Russ, come on, welcome back here to St. Bridget's. Beautiful facilities here this afternoon. A fine crowd as well, big Clare crowd after coming up this afternoon to shout on their teams. Some Laois supporters as well, as you can see, dotted around, most of them situated just behind the camera here, but a nice crowd on the far side, enjoying the day, enjoying the sunshine and enjoying a very competitive match this afternoon. Don't know how many times they've been level, but 2-5 now to 1-8. Very close match. Who do you think will come in on top, Anne-Marie?
Yeah, look, it's been really competitive so far. I think Clare have created 6 goal scoring opportunities, taken 2. Laois have created 3 opportunities and taken 1. So it's, you know, it's very even. Laois are on the attack here now. They're starting as they mean to go on here, and they're pushing forward with it looks like Laura Marie Maher in possession.
Sends a nice ball across. There's a bit of space there for the number 15, Sarah Ann Fitzgerald. Not enough though. She's not happy to go. She'll slow it down. Laois looking for more. Clare probably the dominant team in the first half. I'm sure Laois should be happy with that result. A few off the post for Clare. Getting Laois out of the woods, so they'll be looking for a strong start here. But Clare again, that strong Clare defence, doing well at clearing. But as you can see there, a pack of 3 Laois women are coming back, but very hard to dispossess Niamh O'Dea, that's for sure. And Clare, but they keep coming. A heavy tackle there on a Laois girl, but it's Laois who come, and they're coming through the hands here of Emma Lawler. She has a bit of a chance to maybe do something, but Clare have done well. A very strong defence again from Clare, putting pressure here on her own Fitzpatrick. Still no score from her. She spreads it out long to Laura Marie Maher, who brings it onto the left. A nice dinky one in here to Mo Nerney. Mo with an absolute peach of a goal from Mo. Well, she's had a wonderful game so far. 5 points coming, showing her class. You can't leave her unmarked, and an absolute stunning goal there from Mo Nerney.
That was an absolute cracker, but what a diagonal ball across. I think it was from Erin Fitzpatrick, was it, that found Mo at the edge of the D. Excellent score. Laois after winning the kick out there, and Eva Galvin, and it looks like Rachel Williams is looking for help.
They're on the up. Lawler now with the opportunity on the left. This one falling dangerously, but to the right and wide from the Laois full forward. 2 wides now coming from her, but Laois now going vitally. A goal up, all to do for Clare now. There'll be pressure on them, but they do well. Collected by an unmarked Clare woman, who I think is Grania Nolan. No, it's not. It's Amy Sexton. She does well. She's been brilliant in the first half. Scored a goal, nearly scored another. She does well, collects, but it's Laurie Ryan now who is the ball. She sends it out finally to Fidelma Marion. 3 points coming from her. The top scorers really for Clare, coming out to the centre of the pitch. They want to collect the ball. And plenty of injuries here now. 2 knee injuries. One for Ellen Healy. The Laois number 6 is down to her right. Not sure who's down to her left, but the medics are out, that's for sure.
Yeah, and the girls will get an opportunity to get some more water on. Great start for Laois, but Clare aren't going to panic. You know, still only the 3 points. They're very much in this game. Really good work from both sides.
Yeah, Clare have been definitely they've been unlucky the last 3 years. And Marie, I'm sure you've been there through all those sad days when he nearly got so far. I think the last 3 years, did you lose to the eventual winners in the Intermediate Championship 3 years in a row?
Yeah, that's right. And just looking back at even 2020, you know, it was Meath in that semi-final we lost out to. But look what Meath have done since then, you know. So, like, it just shows what a couple of years can do. And, you know, if you have a heart and belief and determination, anything is possible. You know, Meath are now competing with the top 3 or 4 teams in the country, and they're the top team last year and possibly this year again. There's
plenty of girls who dealt with that heartbreak over the year. They will not want to repeat of that today, that is for sure. But they have a dominant Laois team now in the first few minutes of this first half to deal with first. One of them is Rachel Williams. She's played brilliantly. A lovely hand pass in from her to Galvin. She has a goal already. This one, I think, just over the bar. Lovely point there from Eva Galvin. She's had 2 opportunities, a goal and has a point. Eva Galvin with her 4th of the day, 4th point.
Yeah, she just sneaked in there behind the defence, and the ball was popped in over the shoulder there. Great score. And again, she's after winning the kick out, and Laois are pressing now. They're pushing up on that kick out, and looks like Mo Nerney has sailed this one over the bar again. Clare in trouble now. They need to.
She wasn't going to put it wide. She has 1-5 and no wide so far this afternoon. 1-6 now, and all the pressure coming on Evan Talty's team this afternoon. Looking for answers. No substitutes being lined up yet. It's too early for that, but. Movement here, finally, a nice movement coming from Clare and coming from Aisling Reedy. She does well, has a Bit of space here in front of her as well. There's not much movement inside. The Laois marker is staying very close to the Clare forward, so she'll go herself. She sends it finally across here to Calnan. She has no route one option, so she goes back and sends it to Nolan. Nolan looking for movement, a bit of movement coming from OD, but she's tackled well, spills out of her hands. Laois come again, so the answer's not coming from Clare yet. It's in the hands now of her own Fitzpatrick, the woman you don't want it in the hands of for sure. She sends it to Emma Lawler, who's been playing well so far, but two wides, won't be confident enough to go. Sends it instead to Fitzpatrick, and just as I said, no score yet. She slots over from the left, her first of the day.
And that came from an interception there in the half back line from Laois. Really well worked up along the left hand side here. Excellent score, and again looks like Laois have the momentum with them now, but Clare I've no doubt will react. Amy Linehan is looking for someone from the kick out, and she's after finding Gráinne Harvey, who's found Ellie O'Gorman.
Eddie now over the head there of Rachel Williams, and Clare coming again, plenty space over this near side of the pitch. It's Roisin Considine who has a goal, but she is dropping deep. A lot of the Clare forwards dropping deep, collecting ball in the middle, but no one really inside. That might affect the Clare scoring opportunities, but they're happy to keep ball for now. Maybe they have a plan in place. Gráinne Nolan with a nice ball up here, eventually to Calnan. A second time she had the ball in the corner here, but the second time she has nowhere to go. She's heavily tackled, but palms it out finally to Ellie O'Gorman, who's drifted up the field, does well. A nice hand pass, but again Clare are in the corner. Roisin Considine this time has a goal already, might fancy her chance of scoring a second. A very tight angle, so she'll go with the Durn. A nice fist over the bar from Considine, and I think the first score for Clare in this second half.
Yeah, and
finally coming.
Yeah, from the experience, Roisin Considine made the right decision there to pop the ball over the bar with the fist. Good score from Roisin. That will settle Clare a little bit. Laois have won their kick out now through Rachel Williams, and Rachel has found Erin Fitzpatrick, who was quiet in the first half but has really come into it in the second half.
She certainly has, showing great pace there, great skill, but I think maybe a bit unfair there, overcarried, but Kevin Corcoran is he's the decision maker.
That'll lift Clare now to be like a score to Clare.
It certainly will, because as you said, she was playing well. She's coming more into the game. Very dangerous player of the month, obviously, for last year. Brimming with confidence from last week's win, or 2 weeks ago's win against Wicklow. But yeah, as you said, maybe good as a score. The score might have been coming from her too, but the Clare goalie Amy Lanahan doing well, playing a back's job there, does well, and the pressure coming from the Laois forward line on that Clare again. Back line is huge. Nowhere to go for Tara Kelly. She's forced to go to Siofra Hunnell, and Siofra busts through. There's plenty space now in front for Siofra. She can go all day. A beautiful pass now across for Clare. Clare space here, and it comes now finally to Calnan. Calnan sends it across again. They go slowly. Finally, the number 12, Roisin Considine, had a chance. She was blocked down. We'll come back for a free from before that. I couldn't see, and there was a pillar in my face there. I couldn't see anything, but they were bearing down on goal, had a chance, but we'll come back now. I think it was Roisin Considine had the final chance there on goal. She did well to set it up as well.
Yeah, what a ball in from Siofra Hunnell, who found Roisin Considine in his face. Roisin brought it across to Katrina Callan, and I think Gráinne Nolan or Katrina were fouled there, and it looks like Gráinne has popped it over the bar. So again, that will settle Clare again and brings it down to a 6-point game.
Certainly will. Clare have been very unlucky in front of goal this afternoon, but are happy to keep going for more. They might need one too. There's only 4 points in it, and it's still very early in the second half. They'll want to put pressure on Emer Barry's kick out again. They put a bit of pressure. It's going to be a 50-50 one, but Erin Fitzpatrick does great there, collects the ball and sends it into a very dominant Rachel Williams, who's played brilliantly in the centre of the pitch this afternoon. She leaves the ball drop, but collects again and sends it safely into Laura Marie Maher. She goes across to her full forward, Emma Lawler. Emma sends the ball now to Fitzgerald. Lawler again, nice 1-2s in the full forward line. Mo Nerney now, she fancied her chances, but she was being tightly marked there, so they'll have to go out to the wing again. It comes into the D. Scoring opportunity possibly here now for Mo on the left. This one will fall low and dangerously into the hands of Amy Lennon. Didn't deal with it the first time. Again, that sun is in her eyes. She doesn't have the copying on, and I suppose that would have affected her there, but eventually she does catch it, and maybe the copying is needed now with that sun. But she does well, sends a nice high ball, and Clare nearly nearly dealing with it there, but two Clare women coming across themselves and wiping themselves out. I think one of them is still down as well, and that is Fidelma Marion. You don't want her down, but we'll focus on the other side of the pitch as Laois come again, and they come through the hands of Sarah Ann Fitzgerald. She does well. A nice crossfield ball here if it can be picked out, and she can definitely be picked out. Laura Marie Maher has a bit of space, then Gaze gobbled up. OD did well, but I think maybe a bit too much pressure. Two-handed tackle, and Laura Marie Maher gets the free for Laois.
Yeah, Fidelma Marion and CC up onto her feet there. I think she just had a clash there with Chloe Maloney. She seems to be okay. Laois have worked the ball down. Looks like a scoreable position for Mo Nearney. You'd fancy her off for her left leg here.
Certainly would. 6 out of 6 for Mo so far. And a goal. This is for 10 points in total for her. And slotted, as you said, Marie straight over the black spot there. 1-7 now coming for the Laois number 13. Bit of movement from Clare. Nice movement coming from them from these kickouts. And a great kick out again from Amy Lenihan into space. Dealt with nicely here by Aisling Reedy, I think. Yes, Aisling has a bit of space in front of her. Well, she's hassled and harried, but there's plenty of space. It'll open up. She goes for the goal rather than the point. And a chance here now, possibly a trip up there, but no, we'll play on. Clare wanting goal. They could go for points, but finally, I think point opportunity comes, but it falls short this time from Chloe Maloney. Better opportunities were available for Clare. They smelled blood, but it wasn't coming.
Yeah, I think Clare need to be more clinical in front of goals when they get those opportunities. They just need to kill the ball. Again, but Laois are putting pressure on the Clare defence, so it's very hard. It's easy for us to say here that they need to be finishing, but when there's that much pressure on it, it's much more difficult. Clare look like they've won a free, so Gráinne Nolan is going to be looking for someone to go short, I'd imagine. Niamh O'Dee's making a run, but she's been tightly marked there by Aisling Donor.
She'll go over the head so of Donor and sent into the corner. Considine now, I think. Yeah, foul. Does well once again. So an easier chance now for Nolan to slot this one from the 21. We'll have our first substitute of the day as well. Laois's Joyce Dunn, number 17, coming in. Coming off the field is the number 15, Sarah Ann Fitzgerald. No opportunity today, not much falling for her. Coming down the other wing mostly, so Sarah Ann is off. Joyce Dunn slotting in there. I think up into the corner forward area. No, she won't. She'll drop back to wing, and another Laois woman will head up as Clare put this one to the right and wide. I'm sure Nolan will be disappointed with that. 2 wides now from her and 2 points.
If you see there, Laois are pushing up again. The kick out they're given, Clare are pushing up in the kick out. They're given no options, but what a great kick out! And she's found Emer Berry has found her substitute, Joanne Dunn, Joyce Dunn.
Joyce Dunn does well. She's dropped to a deeper position, plenty of height, does well. Sends a nice ball across to the corner back, who sends a beautiful low ball in here. And Laois again on the attack. Lawler looking very dangerous now. Has a bit of space, but Clare coming back. Finally putting pressure. Laura does very well. Very clever player. Jinks in and out. Sends it now to Amy Potts, who's made her way up the pitch. And sends this one to the right and wide. The corner back making her way up. I think going up so far as the forward line. I think Joyce Dunn is slotting into a more central position there. Yes, Amy Potts has drifted up. Takes the chance.
Yeah, if Amy had spotted Laura Marie Maher there, she was inside in the square on her own, but she just kicked it and went across. Again, Laois have won the kick out, but Orla Devitt intercepts really well.
Bad pass from Aaron Fitzpatrick there, so Clare getting back, doing well. There's a Clare woman down. It might be OD, I'm not sure. No, it's not. A shoulder injury there, but we'll play on regardless. Gráinne Nolan has made her way back. She's done well to hold possession. Not much movement up in front of her, so she'll have to go backwards. The ball spills out of the hands there. I think Ellie O'Gorman. Mary Ryan. But eventually they give it away, but huge pressure coming from Laois.
Yeah, that was, I think, Siobhan Nicole was caught for barrage in there. But again, the pressure that Laois are putting on is unreal. Substitute Joyce Dunn is going to take this one. I think the referee's having a quick word with Siobhan Nicole.
Substitution here, 11 for 21. So I think Gráinne Nolan coming off and Cleena Blake coming in.
That's Rebecca Doohan actually.
And Rebecca Doohan, 23, coming in for Gráinne Harvey. So 2 substitutes there for Clare, but we'll focus on Laois now. Laois are coming up here through Anna Healy. She sends it back to the Laois substitute, Joyce Dunn, and a chance here now for Laois maybe to get a score through her own Fitzpatrick. She has her second. I'm sure she'll be delighted with that. 1 wide, 2 points now coming from her own, and Lead extended now for Laois. Well, nobody expected this 2-goal lead this quick into the second half coming for Laois. Clare were definitely in the ascendancy, but they've been put under pressure here in the second half. That pressure showing now from a high kick pretty much to nowhere there, but dealt with brilliantly by Chloe Maloney, who's played excellently this half. She shifts the tackle and sends a beautiful pass in there to Katrina Callanan. They're coming now through Aisling Reedy. She's surely fouled. She is dragged to the ground, looking for a bit of movement inside. There's a bit of movement coming as well. Looking dangerous here now through Marinan. If she can turn here, she's in. She's happy to take it on the right and take the chance for point. Nearly falls in into the crossbar, but over the crossbar this time. Marinan has scored 3 points in the first maybe 15 minutes. Hasn't scored since, but a point for her, making it her 4th now of the match and down to a 5-point game.
Yeah, slotted beautifully over the bar there, and then she was fouled, so she would have, if it went wide, she would have had advantages, would have been taken back, so it would have been a free. But excellent score there from Fidelma Marinan. Laois opted to go short in this kick in this kick out. Haven't seen that too often today. Jane Moore is in possession now, and she's after finding Annie Healy, who's found Amy Potts.
Amy does well, plays all over the pitch and is doing that this afternoon. She's put under massive pressure, but no pressure for her. Deals with it excellently and sends it out the wing. Laois now on the ascendancy. There's plenty of space for them here. Another corner back. That's Amy Kelly, the captain, working her way up too. And at the backs are playing a forwards role this afternoon. Rachel Williams now with the ball. She's a very strong runner through the centre, but nowhere to go with 2 Clare women in front of her, so she's forced to stall and go back. Joyce Dunn played well since she's come on, has done well there. Looking for the return pass too, if she can get it in the hands now of Laura Marie Maher. She's looking for movement. She might go herself. She brings it as far as the D on the left boot. Very difficult angle. Brings that one to the left and wide. Her 2nd wide now of the afternoon. Has 1 point. But Laois definitely playing the better in the last 15-20 minutes. Clare will need answers. Not much lining up on the sideline here. So Evan Talty happy with his selection. One goal might come. And a goal might come here. They're pushing the back anyway. A certain free there.
Yeah, that was definitely pushing back, and I think the referee has called that correctly as a push on. I think it looks like Fidelma Marinan. Yeah. So Fidelma looking for side. Niamh O'D has made a run, so has Katrina Cannon if she can spot her.
They're very well marked inside. Very well done from Laois. Not many options there. The captain Amy Kelly, Killex for Laois. Clare being marked very well by the Laois full back line. They have a sweeper there as well, which they're happy to keep, I think, for goal scoring opportunities. And speaking of goal scoring opportunities, Laura sends one across there to Laura Marie Maher, over the head of Laura Marie Maher. Well, I think it was a good pass, doesn't deal with it well.
Yeah, I think it was just a little bit high. Clare were lucky there to get off the hook. Quick kick out from Ava Linehan has found Orla Devitt.
They certainly are lucky off the hook. Laois breaking very quickly that time, breaking well. Clare will look to break quickly now themselves. They do have an extra player here if they can work it through O'D. O'D is bearing down on goal, has 2 options, one to the right, might go herself. She does go herself. This time it's tackled. Is that a free? I think going out for a 45. I don't think a free at all. Might have been a free, wasn't one given earlier. O'D had a chance, she could have gone right as well. I think Amy Sexton was there and could have finished that herself, but O'D decides to go herself. She's taken to ground, no free given, comes off a Laois leg and will be a 45, and a chance for Maloney maybe to make good, but another goal opportunity for Clare goes amiss.
Yeah, Clare are putting the pressure on now. It's still only a 4-point game, you know, so Clare are very much in it, but they will need to tag on a few scores. Looks like Chloe Maloney is going to be taking the 45, but it's in stuff, you know. Laois missed a goal scoring opportunity down at this side, and now Clare after missing one, so it's very tight.
Certainly is. Chloe Maloney will look for a runner. There's a few more subs now warming up on the sideline, but Maloney has to deal with this first. She'll send a high one in. Is that to O'D inside? Oh, beautiful catch there from O'D, and turns on a dime and with the left sends this one just to the right. Again, shoots while slipping. Doesn't work for her again this time, and falls short. Dealt with well by Emer Barry. A foul there coming on Clodagh Dunn as well. She'll send it back now. Happy to slow the game down a bit. Our Laois. There's no major hurry on them. Joyce Dunn has done well. She's come on this afternoon, deals well with that. A nice low ball sent into Lawler again. She turns. Very hard to mark that girl. Tara Kelly doing her best, but not enough. There's a runner as well for her. That's Rowan Fitzpatrick. She'll be looking for her 3rd. Not this time though. She's happy to send it across. Happy to collect again. Sends another beautiful ball across to 2 Laois women who are waiting for it. Now one of those women is Mo Nerney. She hasn't put one wide all day, but there's time for one wide. She scored 1-7, so we'll forgive her. her first wide of the day from Mo. Only a 5-point game now.
If you look at Laois are attacking much more pace than they did in the first half. You know that they're really pushing forward and testing that Clare defence. Clare are making a substitute here now. It looks like Emma Mahan has been introduced. Emma came on against Longford and did very well. And looks like Amy Sexton is making way.
Amy Sexton coming up. Maybe a small bit of an injury there as well, because she was playing well. Has a goal as well. Has done well for that Clare team this afternoon. Is very gingerly walking off, even though they're behind. So there might be an injury there, a bit of overheating. She's drinking water, trying to regain her breath. So
she's worked really hard today. She's very young. She's only 19. I think she's a very young girl, but worked really hard today.
Certainly has, yeah. She looks exhausted. Another woman down there now for Clare, but we'll have to come back. I think a facial injury there for Chloe Maloney. Took a bit of a knock to the face. I don't think there was anything malicious in it. So Maloney down. So 5 points in it. Clare with it all to do if they want to go forward again. As we talked about before, Anne-Marie, they've been very unlucky at this stage and the quarter-final stage of the intermediate over the last 3 years.
Yeah, I know we said 3 years ago it would take Clare a couple of years, to rebuild their team again. There was a lot of retirements maybe 4 or 5 years ago, and Clare are starting to rebuild, and you can see that there's progress being made every year, but it would be lovely to go one step further and reach that All-Ireland final. The last time I suppose the All-Ireland final was in 2009 against Fermanagh, so it's a long time ago. So it would be lovely to get back there and get a win, but we have to get over. Clare have to get over today first, and there's still 4 points in the game, but they're working hard, and it won't be over till the final whistle.
It certainly won't. They'll work hard. They have a fine 3-week break before the All-Ireland final in Croke Park, the last Sunday in July, so fitness won't be an issue. They'll run themselves to the ground. A girl running herself to the ground now is Fidelma Marinan. The danger forward, making her way the whole way back inside her own 45 to win ball. Maybe a bad sign though, because the Clare forward line is looking pretty gaunt. There's 3 inside and 4 Laois women marking them, so they're playing a sweeper, so not much to go. Marinan will hold the ball, but she really needs to go forward. She has to go back though to Amy Lenihan. She might bring the ball herself, does well. There's a unmarked Clare woman here as well. That Clare woman is Laurie Ryan. She brings the ball forward. There's a woman here over the head of Rachel Williams that she finds. That woman is a substitute, Emma McMahon. She does well, looking to stretch those legs for the next few minutes, put in much energy and as many mileage on the clock as she can and work a score. She's working her way in, but can't find it now because it's fallen out of Marinan's hand. She goes back for it. She does well. Turns, twists. There's a free coming.
Yeah, well worked there by Roisin Considine.
Yeah. Another substitute here for Clare as well, the number 19, Lizzie Roach, coming on for Chloe Maloney. Some marquee players for Clare being hauled to the sideline, but just showing the work effort they've put in this afternoon. Looks exhausted coming off the pitch and took a hit a few minutes ago as well. Maybe hasn't shifted it. Yeah,
Chloe has worked very hard again today, as she does always. As we had said, that both sides will be using their bench, and that's exactly what's happening here now. It's 25 degrees, players wouldn't be used to playing in this heat. But last few minutes now, I think, is there 10 minutes to go? So it looks like that has gone over the bar. Great score. Superb score.
A happy Clare woman, but a nervous Clare woman here beside me here now. The legs are shaking. She knows there's hope, and there certainly is. It's Laois with a substitution though. It's Orla Hennessy coming on for Laois. The number 10, Emma Galvin, is coming off. Again, another key player coming off the pitch. Eva Galvin, having scored 1-1 this afternoon, has been excellent, especially in the first half for Laois today, when they were the quieter of both teams, even though they went in at half-time drawing. But she's hauled off. And a kick out there coming straight into the hands of Fidelma Marinan. It's the last woman you want to see with the ball in hand. Only 4 points in the game now as Clare come again. Not much movement inside, so they'll have to go nice and safe into the hands of Aisling Reedy. She might work one herself here. Beautiful score if she can get this one straight off the laces, straight over the bar from Aisling Reedy. Her first score of the day. She scored 2 against Wicklow 2 weeks ago. She scored 1 today. A great effort from the midfielder, and now only a 1-score game.
Yeah, and I think there's about 7 minutes left, so it's all to play for. Clare need to press up on the Laois kick out like they've done numerous occasions before.
Well, the tiredness there may be showing in the legs of Rachel Williams. She was everywhere for the first 40-45 minutes of this match. A bit tired now though. And Clare on the up, that is for sure. O'D comes out, collects a nice ball and sends it cross field. Clare now come through the centre. Not much movement. The defence is a bit looser this time from Laois, and it falls to the legs of a Clare woman who throws it over the bar again. A 2-point game now. Number 12, I think, was it?
Yeah,
Roisin Considine with her second point of the day. 1-2 now coming for Roisin Considine. She's played a brilliant game this afternoon. They're marking a bit more laps from a very tired Laois defence there. I see Ellen Healy with her hands and her knees looking exhausted out there. No substitute coming for a while, and not much movement coming for Emer Barry, who's forced to go high. But the one substitute they do have on, Joyce Dunn, does well there. She sends it back to Williams, showing she's not as unfit as I was making out and doing brilliantly. Sends a nice ball up to the second substitute, Orla Hennessy. She's looking to make an impact, showing her legs. And again, judged to have overcarried the ball. Might be a bit unfair, but the referee's right there. He's keeping an eye on things, and he has been on the ball when it comes to the 4 or 5 steps. That's all you're getting away with today, that's for sure. And Clare will be very, very happy with that. The Laois sideline furious, but we'll play on. There's a bit of cramp here, I think, on Roisin Considine. She's down, but Clare will come. There's a bit of space here now again for Clare. They can work it up to a scoring position. Very handy. O'D on the ball. She hasn't been that successful in front of goal today. She'd fancy her chances this time, and she scores after scoring two wides this afternoon coming from Niamh O'D. Would you believe it? Her first score of the day, and what a score coming for her. Only 1-point game now. 2-13 to 2-12. Clare on the up. A substitute coming on for them as well. But I don't think we'll take the stop. We won't. We'll play on. Laois
still have the game on now anyway.
It certainly is. We were a 6-point game, I think, earlier. Now a 1-point game. And Clare in the ascendancy. They look the fitter team as well. But Laois will not give up, that's for sure. And Joyce Dunn has played excellently since she's come on. Does brilliantly, and a great pass there to pick out small Rachel Williams, who's showing that her engine is still going, that's for sure. She brings it up the right hand side. She gobbles up some space. Her opposite substitute, Emma McMahon, coming across to find her. She fouls her, and Rachel Williams and the substitute Joyce Dunn doing well there to relieve some pressure on Laois and maybe create a score for them as well. It's needed. Lawler works her way out to the D. She's marked by 2 Clare women, and one of them comes away with it, does very well. A safe ball out the wing as well, and Clare will look to come again. Only a few minutes left, but only 1 point in it. Clare definitely on the up. Lawler making her way back, doing well, putting massive pressure, forcing the error, and Orla Hennessy collects from Laois again. The subs doing very well. Number 9, Jane Moore, does well and sends it across to Ellen Healy. She sends a beautiful crossfield ball to her cornerback Amy Potts, who's made her way up that wing numerous times this afternoon and does the same. She wants to relieve pressure. She wants more than that. She wants a score. Brings it to Moan Ernie. There's a woman who can score. She has a chance just outside the D. She's only missed one so far today. She's not going to miss a second. Moan Ernie now 1-7 before this, scores her 8th point of the day, has a goal as well. What an excellent score there.
Yeah, that was an inspiration score from Mo. She was off balance but still slotted her over the bar. Really good score. Clare have to win possession now from this kick out. It looks like Clare making a substitution. It looks like Sinead Considine is entering the fray.
And Roisin Considine taken up. Again, another marquee player scoring 1-2 today for Clare, being taken off. Some of the top scorers for Clare being taken off this afternoon. But Evan Talty obviously has a lot of confidence in that subs bench and what they can do.
Yeah, Roisin has been absolutely outstanding today. I think she went down there with a cramp earlier, so making way for Sinead to come in there. Sinead has had an excellent campaign as well. A runner, and will work really, really hard for the last few minutes.
She certainly will. Anna Moore in for Marie Maher as well for the Laois team. Number 20 in for number 11. And Clare have the ball. A 1-2 point game now. Only 1 kick of the ball in it. Clare been very unlucky in front of goal this afternoon. They might want to go, but it's a high risk manoeuvre. They might be happy with 2 points. A definite drag down there on a Clare forward. A definite drag down. She'll protest, but we could all see it from here. Cleana Blake fouled. Will foul might be a bit far for Marion to put this over the bar. It is Marion who comes out to collect. Might have the legs. She certainly has a boot on her.
Yeah, I would imagine a left-footed kicker would kick from this side, but maybe Fidelma fancies her chances from here.
She does 2 wides, but 5 points.
Yeah,
5 from 7.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not too much of an angle.
Yeah.
And again, no wind blowing this afternoon. A dead sticky day here in the centre of the country.
And it's well within her range as well.
Beautiful curl on this. Does it have the legs though? No, and doesn't have the curl either. Goes to the right and wide. Well, we all fancied Fidelma to slot that over. It curled a bit and then it stopped and goes to the right and wide. 2 minutes now left in this. 2 points to be scored by Clare. If they want to go forward at least to extra time this afternoon, there will indeed be extra time as Laois finally make that substitution. Actually, it's Shifra Havel coming in for Orla Hennessy, who came in just a few minutes ago. Shifra did well against Wicklow. She scored a goal, so a danger woman coming on for Laois, who might have a goal in themselves.
Clare will have to press up on this Laois kick out now and try and win it. Laois will be trying to hold the ball and maybe wind down the clock a little bit.
Orla Hennessy only on a few minutes, looks to have picked up an injury in that time.
Yeah, looks like an ankle injury.
She's coming off nice and gingerly. Looks very unhappy, so she's off, and here we go. Pressure now on Emer Barry with this kick out. Can she pick out a Laois girl? There's 2 Laois girls there, but it falls in between them at 6s and 7s, and it's a Clare woman who comes away with it. Clare now on the up. There's movement inside if she can find it. The number 15. Katrina Calnan has it, has space. She sends it across here to Marinan with nowhere to go, has to go back again. Might be safe going for the point, but can go nowhere. The whole Laois team, it seems, inside that 21 and that D, putting massive pressure on Clare. They'll have to go back. They might have to work 2 points instead. They have the time if they want. They might look for the goal as well. They keep the ball in hand. Beautiful run there and a nice dinky high one over the bar. If this is a score, it is a great score, and it certainly is a 1 point game again.
From cornerback Ellie O'Gorman, very
Ellie
experienced player, really good score.
Brilliant score there from the cornerback, and now the pressure's on. I make it out maybe 30 seconds left. There'll be one more opportunity at least. The referee Kevin Corcoran shouts for the kick out. He wants it, but it's won this time by Laois. Again the substitute Joyce Dunn, playing a stormer, wins the ball and sends it to her cornerback and captain Amy Kelly, who certainly won't be one to mess up. A beautiful pass across to the centre back Ellen Healy, and they'll wish to play down the clock, but the clock won't be played down because it's a free given away by OD. That might as well be a score for Laois. They'll take a breather and they'll play it back. Clare will need to put pressure now on this Laois backline.
Yeah, Clare need to get their hands on the ball, yeah.
They certainly do, and the number 21 there, who just came in, Cleena Blake, is trying to put that pressure on. They'll work their way up the field. It might be kept in the possession of a Laois woman. It might go out the sideline. Everyone on that far side is calling it for Laois, but I think they're Laois supporters, so I wouldn't trust them for 1 second, but it is a Laois ball indeed. There's a Clare woman down as well. It must be a bad injury if she's down, because she will not want to waste any seconds on the clock, that's for sure. But Laois have it. Referee's gone over. He's giving it the other way, so the Laois supporters not happy with that, but Kevin Corcoran happy with it. And Clare come again. There's obviously time left. I wasn't sure if there was, but there certainly is time left, lads. We're coming here now. A heavy hit, a very heavy hit there on Emma McMahon. He's giving it out for barging. I think that might be fair enough that each woman stood her ground, put her hands in the air and took the hit. Very unfair though on, well, a hard one to call. I won't even ask you how you think.
No, I think Emma McMahon was going at pace there. I don't think that she was barging, to be honest.
Yellow card as well. Well, I mean,
I know that the Laois girl stood her ground all right, and she was pushed back.
And the hands were up in the air as well.
But this has been an issue all year and all last year as well about this decision. You know, some refs give it, other refs don't. You know, some refs give a free, other refs will let it play.
Yeah, so Emma McMahon going off here now for 10 minutes. Not that there's 10 minutes left. And the Laois woman, I'm not sure who was, who stood her ground for it. She'd be delighted with that, but a very tough call there made by Kevin Corcoran. It's Ellen Healy who's down. She's now back up. We might play an extra minute. He might add a bit more time. There's been a lot of time wasted now in the last few.
This could be crucial.
Seconds. It certainly could. Rachel Williams, she's played brilliantly all day, but this time gives it away. And OD, I think, with the ball, but they still need to score a free now for OD. Will she give it quick? She won't. She'll slow down the ball. Well, just as I said, Rachel Williams had a solid game this afternoon for Laois, but does the worst thing she could possibly have done, and then the giving out brings it up the field. Well, whoever was giving out from Clare about Kevin Corcoran now must be delighted with him.
Yeah, and he's brought it in there now, which was well intercepted by Niamh O'D. You know, she was alert to the free kick. pressure's on Fidelma here now.
It certainly is. 3 wides, 5 scores. The last one she sent to the right and wide. Surely Fidelma Marion with 5 points this afternoon will slot this, and we're into extra time surely. Oh, the black spot. The Clare people inside here go mad. They're delighted. A very fair result though, I think, to be fair, because it was a very close game all day, but maybe another minute to play here. Kevin Corcoran looks at the watch.
Yeah, he hasn't blown his whistle yet now, so we'll keep going.
Has not. Massive pressure now on Emer Barry.
There's a whistle in the mouth.
She'll have to hit Laois woman, and who else but Joyce Dunn, who's done brilliantly in the centre of the pitch for Laois this afternoon. Click. I think we'll have a few minutes of extra time. I think we'll play it on. Surely that's Bardring. Yes, he'll have to give the same thing. Will he give the card? I'm not sure. I don't think he's giving the card. But a fierce hit there. I think it was Laurie Ryan who took the hit. She took the same. Now, you'd say, as a Clare woman, was that not the same hit as the hit that was done earlier?
Yeah, it was. So it looks like it was, yeah.
So Emma McMahon got the line, but no line, I don't think, given this time. But more importantly than that,
chat with her, I think,
Clare might have an opportunity to score. I'm not sure who it was from Laois with the shoulder.
I think the ref has moved it up a little bit as well, has he? It's very exciting, very dramatic finish.
Certainly is. It is indeed a yellow card there for the Laois woman. I'm not sure who it is. We'll see now in a minute. She'll be devastated how quickly things can turn in this game. 2 massive decisions from Kevin Corcoran, but he gave one. He had to give the second one. He had no other option. And I think it's the number 7, Clodagh Dunn, who's coming off the pitch for Laois. A huge chance now for Fidelma Marion to finish this game off and bring Clare into the All-Ireland intermediate final. But a massive boot. It has the distance, but it does not have the accuracy. Out to the right and wide. Her 4th right and her 4th wide. And surely now that's it. From the 60 minutes of play, we will have 10 minutes of extra time and another 10 minutes with kicks to come from the 25 if needed in what has been a very topsy-turvy game. But I think the draw is probably the fairest decision at this time to give. But Kevin Corcoran has the fadog in his mouth. It's not been blown. We're going to play more. No, that's it. So what about that for excitement?
Unreal. Great credit to both teams. You know, they've left everything out there. They still have to go for another 20 minutes. Definitely more than are going to be used. Brilliant effort from both sides. I think it's a fair result, to be honest. Clare came out, or Laois came out, all guns blazing at the start of the second half. But Clare answered. You know, it was how teams react. It's how teams react to these decisions. You know, and the spirit is still there. Clare is still there, as are Laois. We look forward to 2 more spells of 10 minutes.
We certainly will. Who won't look forward to it is certainly the girls around the centre of that pitch, because they look absolutely exhausted out there. The water will come on board. I'm sure there's a sub or 2 more to come on. Well, not for Clare. I think Laois can do 2 more. There'll be a few more extra subs as well, because we are in extra time as well, so that will ease the burden. So 10 minutes now, Anne-Marie, and another 10 minutes, and if needed, 25.
Yeah, the refs are speaking to both sets of management now. I presume they are going ahead with extra time, even though it is very hot. I think there has to be a result today.
Certainly does.
They're just doing some delegating, which is kind of unusual in the middle of the field there. Usually they just go to their separate sides and prepare, but they're having a little discussion there.
They certainly are. Both sets of subs have been very impressive since they've come on, the Clare subs and the Laois subs this afternoon. We'll wrap it up here for a minute. We will come back, so don't go anywhere. Grab a cup of tea. I suppose it's too hot for a cup of tea. Grab a nice water and come back to us. We'll be back only in 2 minutes, I'd say, by the looks of things, because things will move quickly. Until then, so long. Well, Fáilte Hernash, first period of extra time. 10 minutes, then a break, then 10 minutes, and 25 frees then. If we're still at a drawn game, and I wouldn't be surprised, Anne-Marie, if we were.
Yeah, what a performance we've had here from both sides today. Very evenly matched in the first half. Laois came out all guns blazing in the second half, but Clare's character and determination have showed they brought it back. They were probably the better team in the last 10 minutes, could have sneaked the win there, but all to play for now. And I think I'd imagine both sides will finish will start as they finished full time there, but we'll just have to wait and see. The ref has both captains in now for the toss. Both sets of players are huddled, and a few final preparations are underway.
You were saying there 2 yellow cards, Emma McMahon for Clare and Clodagh Dunn for Laois, but Emma McMahon sent to the sidelines a bit earlier, so she'll be back sooner as well. So starting with 14, but Clare will have 15 for more time during this extra time, so that might make a difference.
Yeah, it might. And again, girls will be. I'm sure that the benches will be used as well because of cramps, and they've both sets of teams have a lot of running done so far in that 60 minutes. So it's going to go down to the wire, I'd imagine. First score is going to be crucial. It's only 10 minutes. Time goes really, really quickly. I know that's easy for us to say up here. Mightn't feel like that down the hot day today, but it looks like the Laois are going to be playing from left to right, and Clare will be kind of playing down the hill a little bit if you're looking from where we are here. But the ref is ready to throw it in now, and looks like Sinead Constantine is gone to a wing back position. Ellie O'Gorman is picking up centre back. She's on Laura Marie Maher there. And I think there's no other position switches from the Clare side from what I can see at the moment.
And it is Clare who win the throw-in. Aisling Reedy does well, as she has throughout the match, and has a bit of space here. Well, a load of space. She's going herself. She might throw this over the bar. Was it just gone to the right and wide? I'm sure she'd be disappointed with that, Aisling Reedy. Space opened up in front of her. She kept going, but put to the right and wide. She has a point already and was looking for her second. Will be disappointed with that. Every point, I'm sure, will count in this first half. A bad kick out there from Emer Barry. Out over the sideline, and Clare with all the pressure. It was Laois who put pressure in the start of the first half and the start of the second half. Clare now exerting their own pressure, and Niamh O'Dea drops back for a sideline kick. There is movement inside. She doesn't see it. There's a bit more coming through the centre now, and it's coming through Lizzie Roach. Lizzie looking for her first score of the match after coming in the second half. She gives a hand pass instead, looks for the return pass, does well, can turn this. She might take it on the left. She does, brave, but just to the right and wide from Lizzie Roach, her first wide of the afternoon. Obviously not that comfortable on the left, but took the chance.
Yeah, it was well worked in. A good team play, so if Clare can keep it down here and put pressure on the kick out here again. And Chloe Maloney has put pressure on the kick out, and it's broken to Niamh O'Dea, who's found Cliona Blake.
Cliona Blake now in herself, might go for goal point instead, and this one converted by Cliona Blake, the substitute coming in, her first chance of the afternoon, and sticks that one over the bar. But again, huge pressure, as you were saying, Anne-Marie, coming on that kick out. That Emer Barry kick out is it's been challenged all over the place. There was a tough challenge went in, but I think a very fair challenge went in from Reedy there on the Laois woman. She's down, she's injured, so they're keeping an eye on her.
It looked to be a fair challenge. Aisling Reedy is very athletic there. Just going back to Cliona Blake's score, excellent score. She came on the last day against Longford and played really well as well. So if they can get ball to her, Cliona's well able to score.
He certainly is. Other semi-final update, Wexford with a good win versus Roscommon. So the winners of today's match will play Wexford in 3 weeks' time in Páirc Uí Chrócaigh the last Sunday of July in the TG4 All-Ireland Intermediate final, the junior one. Before that, I think Fermanagh and Antrim in that one, and the senior yet to be decided. But a fine day for all who can make Croke Park just available for the LGFA for the day. And there should be some excellent games, but An excellent game to finish off here as more pressure comes on. 3 kickouts now lost by Laois in the last 3 or 4 minutes, and Clare go very quick. A beautiful ball in here to Callanan. She turns, but this one again to the right and wide. 2 wides now for Clare in the first few minutes of this first half of extra time. They will rue them, but they are putting massive pressure on that Laois kick out, to be fair to them. There is movement coming for Laois, but probably not enough, and the marking is massive. Maloney this time getting her hand in, putting pressure on Jane Moore, illegally so this time. A free against Maloney. Moore now finally with a chance for Laois to relieve a bit of pressure and get that ball up to the Laois forwards.
Yeah, it was very... I think there was a fair tussle there between the 2 girls. Could have gone either way. They were both kind of pulling each other, but it's with Laois. The ref is telling her to move it on a little bit.
Pulling and dragging, ball comes, falls in between a Clare woman and a Laois woman, eventually falls back to that Clare woman who went straight away, and it's the last Clare woman you want on the ball. It's Fidelma Marinan, she's coming through, she might want to goal, she doesn't, she's happy with the safe option. Fidelma Marinan with her 7th point of the afternoon. This one coming from play, the last person you want on the ball, possibly a goal opportunity as well, but all kinds of trouble now on that Laois defence.
Yeah, excellent score from Fidelma. I know the head was down there at the end of full time, but excellent score from her there now. Again, really good for her confidence. The momentum is with Clare. They're pressing on that kick out. They're winning every one of them. They're fighting for every ball. Sinead Constant is working hard here to win this ball. Looks like she has it. I said the ref will throw it up. It would be a fair... Yeah, he's throwing it up.
Anna Moore doing well there for Laois. 1-on-2. She wins the throw in at least. Has the ball in her hands, but it's no good. It's back to Kevin Corcoran. He'll throw this in. The 2 high midfielders, Clare and Laois, battling there in a very heavy tussle there, but it's Maloney who comes out with it, does brilliantly, sends it to Reedy. Reedy has a point already, she might want a second. Some very lax defending here from Laois, and Clare cutting through. Chance might fall now for Clare onto the boot. I think of Emma McMahon, is it? But that one goes... Keena Blake, the number 21, sends that to the right and wide. She has a point, no second point. Emma McMahon not back on the pitch yet. She's getting ready to go. Only a minute or 2 left before her 10 minutes is up, and she'll be back out, but it's Laois now on the ball. Another 50-50 kick out, but again, the number 17, Joyce Dunn, has been brilliant in the centre of the pitch, winning kickouts since she's come on for Laois, relieving a massive pressure on that midfield all day. Lovely ball across to Healy as well, who does well with it. Safe pair of hands and has been all day. Comes through and sends it as far as Jane Moore. They're looking to go forward. She's fouled, and a chance now for the Laois forwards to get their hands on the ball and create a score there. 2 points down. We'll need more. The sun shining from right to left again into the eyes of the Laois keeper.
Yeah, we started this extra time period in at a furious pace again, you know, so it's a testament to both sides, how and in the tough conditions, how well they're playing and fighting for every single ball, both sides.
Fitness is massive. It's a very hard pitch out there today. Obviously the dryness of the last few weeks affecting that. You can see that in the bounce, but you can also see it on the knees of some of those girls who've taken some massive hits this afternoon. Lawler doing very well. Emma Lawler here, sending it back to her midfield partner, collecting again as she's done so much today. Rowan Fitzpatrick has been quiet enough this afternoon, has scored 2. She'll want to get another score as soon as she can. They need something, but a bad pass won't get it for them. Very brave there from Ellie O'Gorman, who came in. She was very brave as well to go for that point with only a few minutes to go in the second half. She did brilliantly there, very strong, comes, collects, and Clare have a chance here now to attack again, and it's Niamh O'Dea with the ball. A bit of space between her and Aisling Donoghue. She'd fancy her chances, will she? She won't. She'll go across to Lizzie Roach. Lizzie has 1 wide so far, doesn't have the confidence, sends it back to Callanan. Callanan with this chance, hits the post. Does it fall inside the other post? It certainly does. Katrina Callanan had no score up to now, 1 wide, this one off the post, and the post finally coming to Clare's favour this time and over the bar.
And that score came from Ellie O'Gorman, who made a ferocious tackle back in the half back line. Was very, very brave. Excellent score, so that's definitely Ellie O'Gorman's score.
It certainly is. 3 scores now, the most important one of all coming from her, the cornerback, believe it or not, in the dying moments of the second half to help draw this game and bring Clare back from a 6-point deficit with only 15 minutes to go. Now they're in the ascendancy, they're on the up. It's Laois who need a saviour. None out there yet, but it's still very early. A few minutes left in this half, and 10 more minutes to go after that. They played well in patches, Emery. You can't write them off yet.
No, absolutely. We've seen how this game has been to and fro and all along. Again, but now the momentum is with Clare. They're playing with confidence. They're finding their players. There's an excellent ball in from Eva O'D. She's after finding Lizzie Roach. Lisa's after passing to Fidelma. Can she find the net?
Just over the bar. From Fidelma Marinan, another score from her. I think she was going for goal, but she'd be happy with that. 4 points now between the teams. It's as safe a margin as you're going to get at this level.
What a ball across from Eva O'D to find Lizzie Roach. Unreal.
Beautiful ball, beautiful play from Clare. They've been brilliant now. There is a Clare woman down here on the centre back line, so we will take a break. That might actually help Emer Barry to get her bearings and get a bit more movement from that Laois centre field, who haven't been looking for ball that well, and if they have looked, they've been marked tightly by Clare midfielders who've been brilliant in the last few minutes. Aisling Reedy and Chloe Maloney snuffing out so many of these kickouts coming today from Emer Barry. There's still a Clare woman down. Looks to be a heavy enough injury, so we will take a break for a few minutes. Only a few minutes left in this first half. Not sure if there'll be extra time. There might be a minute or two. There's been a few girls down. I know you were saying, Anne-Marie, the fitness is strong, but there's some heavy hits going in there as well.
Yeah, I think it's Ellie O'Gorman that seems to be down. She looks like she's up onto her feet again and she's okay. She took a heavy knock earlier. Actually, she is making way and Gráinne Harvey's coming back in. So a brilliant display from Ellie O'Gorman.
Certainly was. She might have taken a hit from that very brave interception earlier. She did brilliantly. She scored a point. She'll be happy. Any cornerback will be happy with a point in any game, but especially in a game like this, and especially at a time like that. But still all to do. Gráinne Harvey back on. She'll need to be at her. She need to be at her best this afternoon. And Rowan Fitzpatrick judged to have pushed the Clare back there. I can see where maybe Kevin Corcoran saw that. Yeah, correct decision possibly. She definitely won't be happy with that. The Laois support aren't happy with that either. That's for sure, but there's been a good job done on her own Fitzpatrick today. She hasn't got much of an opportunity and there's been very tight marking.
It looks like Orla Devitt is down. I'd say it's a hand or a shoulder injury. She was going at 100 miles an hour when she was pushed there, so hopefully she's okay. She landed awkwardly on it, and I think they're signalling for a substitution. Yes, it is her shoulder, so hopefully Orla will be okay.
Hopefully so. They'll ready the bench here. The water's coming on heavy as well. Plenty of rehydration going on this afternoon. I worked it out, about 26 degrees earlier on. It's probably not that far off that a minute. A cloud offering some solace here for a few minutes.
I think he's signalled for a stretcher, unfortunately.
Please God, should be okay. A big hit there, so we'd slow down the match. Water being brought on. Every bit of care. Few shoulder injuries today, some heavy hits when the girls have hit the ground awkwardly on that on the shoulder. And
the ground is so hard as well. Hopefully Orla will be okay. And no, I don't think it's her head, it's her neck or her shoulder. There's the Laois physio is coming in as well to help.
So the water comes out. A lot to do now. 4 points anyway back for Laois.
Yeah, look, we won't Clare were down 6 points, and look what they did, so you can't write off any team. It's only 4 points, it's only 2 kicks of the ball at the end of the day, you know. I know I've said it before in previous games, it's not over until the final whistle, especially with ladies football, it's so unpredictable.
Certainly is. That Laois team haven't scored the goals they've been scoring in the last few. Only 2 goals coming today, but again, as we spoke about, 12 goals in the last 3 games for Laois. So very dangerous when left in a one-on-one situation. They're collecting into a huddle now. We'll take a break. The stretcher does come out for the Clare girl who's down. She's been looked at again, more of a shoulder injury we think than a neck or a head, but every precaution here. There's no hurry.
Yeah, it's no harm to give the 2 teams a bit of a break again because of the heat.
It certainly is not. The Laois backs and Laois forwards now congregating. They'll have to talk about what to do with these kickouts. The vast majority of the Laois kickouts, and I think there's been 7 or 8 in this first half of extra time, the majority have been lost by Laois, so they'll need to work on that.
So plenty of direction running from both sets of managers. Looks like there's a substitution being made as well while this is happening.
There certainly is. I'm not sure who's coming in. There's 7 for 12, but we don't know which team yet.
Yeah, it looks like, oh yeah, Orla Devitt is the team captain, so she's the girl that's injured. So it looks like Roisin Consign is coming back in for Orla Devitt. Yeah, and Russians just making way there now, making way into the field.
Well done, Roisin, having scored 1-2. Was probably one of Clare's best players so far this afternoon. She's brilliant, taken off. She ran herself into the ground there in the second half, but she's back in, hopefully rested and rehydrated and ready to go again. We'll come back here to the middle of the pitch here. Kevin Corcoran checks his watch. There can't be much left, but he will play a few minutes of extra time, that's for sure.
Yeah, Orla Devitt has played outstanding today, team captain from Clare. So Clare will need to lift it now and do it for her.
Certainly will. She's being stretchered off now, nearly off the pitch. Hopefully okay. Seemed to be more of a shoulder injury, but just obviously watching the neck. It's Amy Lenihan now who's come out for Clare. She's going to take the free. Dangerous enough. She's hoping to pick out a Clare teammate from this. She goes high and long. Does well. A high ball into the sun. Very hard to see that ball. It is collected by OD. In the end, she does brilliantly with that. Up again, takes a hit of her own teammate, but stays up, sends a nice pass back to Maloney, who finds Lizzie Roach in space. Lizzie with one wide so far today. She'll be looking for a score. Happy to send it to Cliona Blake. Cliona Blake does have a score, but she leaves it out to Aisling Reedy. Aisling sends a nice ball to the dangerous Fidelma Marinan. Too far out from Marinan. As many efforts as she's taken today, she doesn't fancy her chances with that one. She sends it back. Beautiful low ball in now into Clare again. Not dealt with the first time. Very tight marking from Laois, and great marking from Laois. Better work there from the Laois backs, and Aisling Donoghue finally gets it out to her wing forward, Eoin Fitzpatrick, who is fouled this time. Eoin dropping very deep. She'll look to push up and leave it for a back or a midfielder to take this one. She'll leave it to a back and leave it to Ellen Healy. She goes back, and Laois will look to maybe pick themselves up and work this up the field nice and slowly. No major hurry from them, but a score before half time would certainly work wonders. A very dangerous woman, Joyce Dunn, who's been brilliant in the centre of the pitch, does well there, linking up and bringing the ball forward. The dangerous forwards are inside. They can be picked out if they can. They're running in behind. Clare defences lax enough if one or two of those Laois women can be picked in the full forward line, but it's not happening. It's going to fall to Mo Nerney. Mo will fancy her chances. She only has one wide this afternoon and 8 points and a goal, so even though outside the D, she will absolutely fancy her chances here now. 4 points in it. This to cut it to a one kick game, and she does very well again. Mo 1-9 now from Mo Nerney, the number 13 from County Laois.
Excellent score there from Mo, right in the centre of the post. Just one, as you said now, just one scoring this. Amy Linehan has gone high again, and she's found Niamh O'D. I think it's going to be a hot ball again.
A tussle on the ground again, a pick up off the ground with the legs on the ground. Definitely not happy there is Jane Moore. And we'll come back to OD, her with a nice quick ball up the wing here now. Clare will look for a score themselves, and definitely Fidelma Marinan will look for a score too. She sends a ball back to OD, isn't going to follow up, looks very tired. OD will have to go herself. This woman has an engine, she'll keep going. She's under massive pressure, but keeps ball in hand. She's fouled in the end, tripped up, does brilliantly well. She was going nowhere, eventually sucks in the free, and the pressure is eased off Clare, and possibly a scoring opportunity here. But it'll be some score if Maloney could pick this one out. She'll probably drop this one maybe into the box.
Yeah, I'd say she'll bring it across. Maybe if there's a runner. Really good work there from Niamh O'D, who played for the free, but well deserved. Very clever play. Just winding down the clock a little bit.
Maloney now, a high ball in. 3 Laois women, 2 Clare women. There's a push possibly on the back there. No, not given. Laois do break. And they're coming through the hands now of Healy. Beautiful work there through the centre. Winds, weaves, gives the ball eventually to Gallivan, who's back on. She scored 1-1 so far. She'll be looking for another score. Rowe now with the ball. She's fouled. She does well. She can give a quick kick, but the Clare defenders have a sweeper inside there, and everyone had 2 sweepers inside there now, and every other girl has been picked up. So a strong defence there from Clare. Laois should have to look at coming another way. There's a girl down here out the wing if she can be picked out. She certainly is. A beautiful hands there for the number 20 for Laois, Anna Moore, who does well. Sends it back across to Ellen Healy, who's looking for space, but Clare defending in droves. Finally falls to Mo Nerney. Mo Nerney doesn't miss often. She's only missed 1 today. 1-10 now coming from the Laois number 13, who's really just played outstanding all afternoon.
Oh, absolutely unbelievable. She's been savage for Laois, as she has been all year in the last couple of years. They seem to find her in the best possible positions. Laois aren't greedy with the ball. They're not shooting from outside, they're shooting from proper positions. And look, it's all to play for. There's only 2 points in it now and 10 minutes to go.
So a Mo Nerney point, bringing it back to a 2-point game. Laois not giving up. They've certainly played in patches today. There hasn't been consistency, but when they're playing well, they're very, very dangerous. Only 10 minutes to go. We'll see then if they'll be the dangerous 10 minutes or the quiet 10 minutes. But Clare playing very well as well. They've been on the up, had a chance for a goal, but really happy taking their points this afternoon. And all to play for. Anne-Marie, multiplayer for.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned there that Laois haven't played well in spells, but I think Clare haven't let them play. You know, Clare's work rate have reduced the amount of goal scoring opportunities Laois have had, and they've had to shoot from outside. Yes, Mo Nerney has scored her 9 points, but I'm sure Clare will be happy enough. Laois will want to try and tag on a few more scores, and hopefully it doesn't go to the 25-metre kicks. I think it's a very unfair way to lose a game, but who's to know what will happen here.
That's us, 2 points in it. Join us again when the teams come back out. Until then, we'll just take a quick break. Well, 40 for Nash, 10 minutes to go, 2 points in it. Clare on the up, but Laois playing better in the last few minutes of the first half of extra time. Again, 25-yard freeze at the end of this, if needed, may well be needed. Hard to separate these teams this afternoon. There's been a big patches in it. There's been 5 or 6 points to Laois ahead. Then there was Clare 4 points ahead only a few minutes ago. So swings and roundabouts.
Yeah, and it looks like that Katrina Catlin has made away and Grania Nolan is in. Katrina played excellent as well today. Grania played 45 minutes, so she'll have fresh legs in again.
There you go, thrown in. It is Laois who win it, and they're on the up, and they're in with Jane Moore. She's an open field in front of her. Nice hand pass into Lola, but great defending there from Clare. Apparently illegally so. The Clare crowd aren't happy again with that, but Kevin's done a great this afternoon. He's been fair now, to be fair to him. The Mayo man in the middle of the field. I saw a free there, and it's Laois who have a chance. They did well. Won well by Jane Moore in the centre of the pitch. Stormed forward. A nice ball in as well.
Yeah, you would imagine that Mo Nerney will slot this again like she's done on previous occasions, yeah.
I certainly would. A 1-11 now for Mo Nerney this afternoon. Most coming from frees, but plenty from play as well. The top scorer by far for Laois this afternoon. And now the pressure coming on Amy Lenihan and Clare to shift their lines. She doesn't do too well. That Son probably putting in the goalkeepers this afternoon, and it's Laois who collect. They come now through the hands of Ellen Healy. Ellen is looking to maybe go herself. She's inside the D, doesn't have space. Will go to Lawler. Lawler could have slotted it. Gives instead to Mo Nerney. Who else slots once again? Well,
game on. I've said that already today.
Game is on again. The game hasn't stopped. 2:18 now to 2:18 Laois. And 2:18 Clare, 2:18 inseparable for most of this match. Some have pulled ahead by a goal or two, but have been quickly reeled back, and we're back to square one again. Beautiful work there once again from the very impressive Joyce Dunn at number 17, who came in the second half and has been a power horse there for Laois in the centre of the pitch. She sends it to Laura Marie Maher, who sends it across the field. It's all Laois now so far. Mo Nerney as well. She'll fancy her chances again, surely to put Laois one ahead, and she gets it. Laois are ahead now for the first time in a long time. I suppose the end of the second half. All Clare in the first half of this extra time, but Laois now in the ascendancy. Clare will need to do something.
Yeah, if you look at the pressure that Laois are putting on the Clare kickouts, they're using the zonal treat, and they're trying to stop the kick up, but that was well won by Lizzie Roach, and Ashton Reedy, as we've seen time and time again, is running up the field here with possession.
There's
She's done this all day today.
No lack of fitness from Reedy, who sends a nice ball across. She'd done all the hard work, but again, the 3 or 4 Laois women in front of her and the other Clare women in the centre being well marked, had no option really but to give it. But showing how fit this Clare team are, showing how fit this Laois team now are, as Laura Marie Maher, who does brilliantly well, may have picked up a bit of a knock, collects ball, is fouled and relieves pressure. Laois now unmarked here around the centre of the pitch, win the ball dangerously enough through Jane Moore. She sends a beautiful ball into Emma Lawler, who collects. There's a runner inside for her if she wants it. She doesn't give it. She's in two minds. She could go left, she could go right, she might go herself. A wrong option, this one, to high and to the right and wide from Anna Moore there. She'd be disappointed with that. Had an option of Anna Moore inside Lawler, didn't give it to her, goes herself, and a third wide now for the Laois full forward.
Yeah, again, if you see the zone here, they're giving Amy Linehan no options, but it's well won by Grania Nolan. She feeds it back to Amy. Amy looking for someone here out the wing. Looks like Sinead Consolin has made a run, and so has Lizzie Roach. Will she find Lizzie? Well intercepted there by Anna Healy.
Certainly was pulled back by Lizzie Roach, but the referee didn't give it. She does well. Very clever play from Lizzie. Wins the ball back and gives it as far as Grania Harvey, who's back on. Ball on the ground there, nearly dealt with by Marion. We'll play on here. It's very impressive Chloe Maloney, who has a beautiful pass on her beautiful boot, showing that beautiful boot once again with a nice ball into Cleana Blake. She sends the ball cross field to Constantine. Constantine has 1-2, sends it back to Blake again. Blake has a point herself. They can both score. They're being pushed out here to the side. Another woman who can score is Fidelma Marion. Great defence coming from Laois. A foul finally given away by Amy Potts, I think, but Marion are doing well. Plenty of opportunities from Clare, but a solid Laois defence, putting all kinds of pressure.
Yeah, again in stuff. Good pressure there from the Laois defence. Fidelma was fouled. That was correct. It was a good work from Cleana Blake, substitute Cleana Blake, and from Roisin Constantine once again. Hopefully Fidelma will slot this over now and make it an even game once again. Another
high pressure kick coming from Fidelma. 4 wides now for her. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 scores, and a 9th one added onto that. 9 scores and 4 wides from Fidelma Marion, and none of them have been that easy, and that one certainly wasn't easy as well. At a difficult enough angle and pressure as well, but it brings us back to a draw game. 219 to 219. Pressure now on Emer Barry to get this one away. She does better this time. Well collected into the hands of Jane Moore, who works her way up the field with a fine pass. Collected now by a Laois woman. Laois want to score. They want a point, maybe even a goal. They send it first of all to Laura Marie Maher. She'll try to work it up. And a beautiful ball into Lawler. Possibly, no, this one will run out to the right and wide. Right idea from Anna Moore. Bad execution. Lawler not able to get that, and Clare have the ball again, and Amy Linehan will either bring this ball with her or use that fine boot to drive it up the field. There's not much movement coming from some very tired legs around the 45 there. Maloney has an engine, but even she's looking tired there in the centre of the pitch. One woman who definitely isn't tired is this woman right here. She ran up the pitch a few minutes ago, and she'll do the same again there. Brilliant from Aisling Reedy. She falls back now to a more defensive position, and Grania Nolan's put under huge pressure herself. A nice pass back to Sinead Constantine there, who has the leg. She's only come in the second half. She sends it up to another substitute, Lizzie Roach. Lizzie's on her bike. She brings it up the wing. There's not any movement in the centre. She's forced to go, but a bad pass for Niamh O'D, who again has plenty of legs herself, but miscommunication there from both. Some tired minds and tired legs out there this afternoon, and that ball goes over the sideline, and penalty frees look even closer.
They do. I really hope it doesn't happen, but look, if it does, it does. But really concentrate on what's happening here now. Laois look are being put under pressure here in the way out. Looks like a free has been given to Laois, and Rachel Williams is on the ball, and she's coming down our wing here.
Rachel has been everywhere this afternoon. A fine runner in the second pitch, and a very safe pair of hands. Gives a nice ball to her own Fitzpatrick, who, as we said, has been quiet today, but very dangerous woman. She gets a jersey pull, brings it onto the right, and if she can score, that's a monster score for the TG4 June player of the month, and she absolutely does slot that. 3 points now for Erin Fitzpatrick, and the marquee player standing up when she's needed.
Superb score from Éireann there. Really, really good. Clare have won their kick out now through Roisin Constantine and Siofra Connell. And Chloe Maloney's on the ball now.
Chloe is on the ball, but she's under huge pressure. Laois showing their fitness this afternoon, and another woman showing it is Eva Galvin, who's back on the pitch. She sends a nice pass into Mo Nerney, a very dangerous woman who you don't want to see in the ball, but it doesn't matter because we're coming back. There was a jersey pull, the whistle was blown there, and to be fair, Amy Lennon didn't even try to stop it. She knew it was blown, so Mo was in, but no good from Mo. And the Laois players will protest, but to be fair, Kevin Corcoran had blown the whistle. And he'd blown it quite before that.
Yeah, he had, yeah.
So Laois now ahead. Well, everyone on the sideline saying Clare should do this, Clare on the up. And I thought to myself, but Laois showing tremendous character, tremendous fitness as well. And this woman, Mo Nerney, showing a woman of the match performance without any doubt this afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Slotting her 14th point after nearly scoring a goal. And just before that, 114 now from Mo. Would you believe it? Only one wide.
Clare need to get the ball up the field quick now.
They certainly do. Very animated side down here now with 2 points in it. They might even need a goal. Not long left now, a few minutes left on the clock. They'll come through. The safe hands here of Fidelma Marilyn. She scored plenty of points. She might want a goal. A point might be enough as well. She sends it back to Aisling Reedy. Aisling can go on her bike, but she sends it to Maloney. A nice high ball out here now to Lizzie Roach. She's under pressure. She'll try to bring it onto the right boot again. She does. This one to the right and wide from Lizzie Roach. Her second wide. She'll be bitterly disappointed. Did well to win it. Has the right. Not happy to go on the left. Brings it to the right, but this time to the right and wide. A snapshot, but massive pressure coming on Lizzie as well.
Yeah, whoever wins this kick out now, it's going to be crucial. We're down to the last, I think, minute and a half. Clare have to get their hands on the ball. Laois, if they win it, they need to keep possession. This is going to come down now to mental strength. You know, fatigue has really set in. It's whoever's going to hold the head now for the last minute or two.
There's movement here for Laois. Lovely ball collected by them. They look to hold. There's absolutely no hurry whatsoever on Emer Barry. She might give back to Anna Healy. She might go out the wing. She goes out the wing to Amy Potts, who's played very well this afternoon. The cornerback even taking a chance at goal. Another woman who's played very well this afternoon for Laois is Joyce Dunn in the centre of the pitch. She does well. They'll hold the ball. They'll take the free and they'll eat into those seconds that are left on the clock, on the watch of Kevin Corcoran there in the centre of the pitch. A nice ball sent up the wing to Eva Galvin, who was taken off, but she's back on. She scored 1-1. She'll be looking for another. A great interception there though from Siofra Connell. She's been quiet so far in this extra time and since second half, but does well. She's still going. The legs are still going, and the legs are still going here for Chloe Maloney as well, who need to bring this ball quite quickly up the pitch. A beautiful crossfield ball there now collected by Roisin Considine. She scored 1-2 herself. Can she get another goal? She's forced to go back, but it's back to Aisling Reedy, and Aisling Reedy spills the ball, and Laois come again. They come again, and the last woman you want on the ball, her own Fitzpatrick with it. She does well. She turns on a dime and sends a lovely ball into Mo. Mo will eat into the clock here now. There's no pressure on her. She'll bring it out the side. She'll use her skill, her tact. There'll need to be pressure coming from Clare here, but it's not coming, and it's not enough. They're beaten here this afternoon, 221 to 219 for a Laois team who played very patchy all day. A very strong outfit from Clare. Were very unlucky all day. They've hit the post countless times. They're down on their knees. They're down on their backs. They're absolutely devastated and elated are Laois. The subs come out, and a strong subs bench and a strong original 15. Some of them bench, come back on. They're absolutely exhausted, but absolutely excited. And what a fight there from the end from Clare. They never gave up, and very tight match. But you know, maybe those goal opportunities from Clare probably will be rude.
No, look, it's heartbreaking for Clare. They're just absolutely devastated, and it was such a spirited and team performance. But look, credit has to go to Laois. There has to be one winner. They fought, they never gave up. They went down a couple of points, they came back. You know, I think they were a little bit better there in those last 10 minutes. It's just heartbreaking for Clare. You feel very, very sorry for them. But look, they're a young team. I've no doubt that they're going to be back on the big stage again. You know, they deserve it, and they've worked really hard. But credit to Laois now. I think it's going to be a cracker between Laois and Wexford in the All-Ireland final.
From the off today, Anne-Marie, they were brilliant, weren't they? There was no slow moment at all. It was all heart, all dedication, and even in that heat, until the very end, they played their hearts out.
Yeah, from both sides. And look, I know that we said at the start that Laois were going to get goals. It didn't happen. You know, Clare had their homework done and they frustrated Laois, but Laois didn't panic. They were taking their scores from outside, the 45. Credit has to go to Mo Nerney, for her outstanding individual display, but I know there's no eye in team, like it takes team performance. The backs have to give in the ball to Mo for her to get those scores. I know both teams kind of played similar styles in that they pressed up on the kickouts, and credit has to go to the two goalkeepers as well under that amount of pressure to get those kickouts off. We saw what happened to goalkeeper yesterday for Mayo, so like it's heartbreaking for Clare, but look at well done and fair play to Laois.
Never say die attitude for both of them. Clare's 6 points down in the second half. Laois then 4 points down in the first half of extra time. Both sides never gave up, kept fighting, showing their class, showing their commitment. And as you say, Clare will be back again, but as Laois who march on, they'll face Wexford in the All-Ireland Intermediate Final in 3 weeks' time, the last Sunday in July. A big, massive day of ladies football in headquarters that day. Until then, I suppose, I just want to thank Anne-Marie for coming in today. I know you're devastated, Anne-Marie, and devastated for the girls out there, but they were excellent, and it was the tightest of margins.
Yeah, they can be very proud of their performance.
I certainly can. So we leave you from a very sunny Roscommon here this afternoon. Thanks to everybody in the Mac AV team, and Kieran, who's sunburned looking like an Indian outside, Darren back in the office, and Anne-Marie, and from myself. Until next time, Slán.